I'm Mongo, joined as always by my co-host Liger Busa. This is episode 101 of Critical, a show where we talk about video games. We talk about wrestling. We talk about wrestling video games. We talk about comic books, television, action figures, basically anything, honestly. We don't talk about NASCAR, not yet. But
Oh no, thank you.
it's been like a week and a half since we dropped we dropped a megaton shit bomb on everybody. Hopefully you finished that podcast by now. We were going to record last week, but like the only thing really to talk about was the AEW pay-per-view, which I don't know if you saw it. I did. Thoughts? I can talk about it.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I was gonna watch it the next day, and then I heard that MJF won the title, and it's like deflated me completely.
Yeah, no, it's that was me at the end of the pay-per-view. I was like, I don't want to watch Wednesday now. And then I
Yeah,
watched like half of Wednesday, but I had to be up early Thursday, so I was like, ah, fuck it all. I'll get to bed. Knock this shit out at some point in my life. I also watched Ryzen New Year's Eve. I can talk about that. Also, a lot of figure news, especially figure news related to the big topic of today, which was Wrestle Kingdom 20 from the Tokyo Dome. Let me check here. There is a number. It's 46,913 fans. Super no vacancy. Full house. The biggest legitimate house in the Tokyo Dome since like 1998, probably. You saw a little bit of the show live, yeah?
yeah. I watched it up all the way to when Jake Lee came out as the. Actually, the match had started, so I watched a little bit of that match too, and then I went to bed.
Oh, I was gonna say I kind of wanted to turn it off when Jake Lee showed up too.
I thought it would have been so funny if he comes out and then Nakajima just suddenly just like stands in front of him, and it's like, it's me.
I need out of Glate hell, please. Somebody please book me.
He was at the Noah show, and I guess Muto was like, I don't know why he's here.
Jesus. Well, that guy's a great case study in why listening to Simon Inoki, or I'm sorry, Simon Kelly, he doesn't deserve that last name. Why listening to Simon Kelly is a horrible fucking idea because his career is basically done.
Yeah, crazy.
So I thought I have to impart a personal story about the pre-show of the show. Because Chris Brooks was on the show, and I believe I've mentioned that Chris Brooks and I were buddies during the Wrestling Figs days 20-ish years ago now. Have you ever heard of the website ivpvideos.com?
Yeah.
Okay, so 19 years ago, going into or out of Wrestle Kingdom 1, I asked IVP what I could do, because I could do Photoshop a little bit. I was all right. I was like, hey, how can I get a fucking a copy of the show without paying? Because I was 15 and had no job. And if this story ever makes it to Chris Brooks, which it won't, nor should it, because there's a lot of funny internet stories about me and Chris Brooks doing stupid prank calls that I could tell. There's somebody that worked at the Best Buy in Fort Wayne that's still waiting on that Jim Ross DVD to come out. But Brooks volunteered to make the cover for me, and he's like, just tell IVP like you made it, whatever. And so I almost went through with that, and I sent IVP the cover, and I went, by the way, the person who made this was, and I gave him Chris's AIM username, and he did the covers for IVP for a little bit, and I think he got free copies of everything, and I was always jealous of that. Like, where's my fucking finder's fee, man? But I was always happy.
I was gonna do some covers for him, and I completely forgot about them.
That website was a wonderful tool if you wanted to get stuff relatively quickly, but didn't give a shit what the quality of the footage was. Because he got into and this obviously has nothing to do with Brooks. It was very interesting. Like, Brooks did a DVD cover for Wrestle Kingdom 1, and he's on the fucking card at 20. It's nice to see somebody from the 2006 Wrestling Figs indie board, doing something.
Yeah.
But like IVP would just list EX quality on like everything, whether it was or it wasn't. And I completely lost track there. Oh, I ordered Excite Series 2000 with the DVD cover because I was like, oh, because some of the covers look cool, and I'd rather have covers than discs and sleeves
Yeah,
because,
same.
as I found out, like that shit becomes unmanageable very, very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And I popped the tape in, and it looked like shit. It looked horrible. And I just thought, like, oh, well, clearly he sourced the best video quality copy of this that he could. And then I got Tabe's Vader and UWFI comp, which had a bonus Vader and All Japan disc. So I pop in the disc and I put on Vader and Kobashi from the Excite series, and it looked incredible. And I was like, oh yeah, no, IVP, this is what he does. Because he would put like comments on like DVD listings, like Sting and Scott Norton Wrestling Dontaku 93, like crazy blade job or whatever, right? And so I asked him, like, like what, like how bad of how bad of a blade job are we talking here? Because I was curious. And IVP was like, you don't really think I watch most of the stuff I sell, do you? And because I was 16 and cantankerous, I was like, well, I mean, to put something like that on your fucking match listing, you probably should have a clue. And I mean, the last time I ordered from him, I got incorrect discs, which is like a fucking tradition if you order from IVP. He'll have stuff listed as something with the correct listing for that date, and you'll get it, and it's like, oh no, I have the stuff that aired on this date. Because I bought like a 0-1 show expecting to get the Kawada and Naoya Ogawa match. I swear to God, I'm going to talk about Wrestle Kingdom in a second. And I was so fired up to watch Kawada versus Ogawa. I popped it in. It was a special that aired on the fucking 27th of December in 2003 or what the fuck. And I was like, hey, motherfucker. And he was like, oh, I'll change the listing. And I'm like, that doesn't help. That's that mitigates the problem for the future. It does not mitigate the problem I am currently having. But yeah, it was wild times before I knew who Jeff Lynch was, or before I knew who Kay Brada was, or before the deluge of. I mean, there was the pro wrestling drought of the early 2010s, and then there's the source that everybody has now, and we've come a long way. This was by my count. Oh, go on.
I used to order from IVP a lot. Honestly, I never had any problems. Also, like the discs were quite cheap. I think these prices are still similar now. But
I think they're still $2.99 a disc for DVDs. Yeah.
And that was very like affordable, and when shipping wasn't through the roof like it is now, it was always a good place to go for me.
Oh yeah, like I remember a couple of nights as a teenager when mom went to bingo and came home like, yeah, I won, X amount of dollars. Do you want to grab some DVDs off that one website? My answer was never no. Because when I would get told like what the allotted amount was for me, I'm like already doing the math in my head. Like I can get like 4 DVDs with covers and like 10 of them without covers. Yeah, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
But you're like the only person I know that's never gotten like either like a bad disc or an incorrect disc from him. Like he was like known for it. And perfectly nice guy. There was the time where his PayPal accounts were getting messed with, and he asked me if I could fucking make a Samurai TV letterhead so he could send quote unquote proof to PayPal that he had the right to fucking sell things that aired on Samurai. And I was just like, no. On some level, that's probably fraud, and I don't need to be doing that. That's a lot of lore for this this early in the episode. So yeah, Wrestle Kingdom. We had the Young Lions tag match. It was Katsuya Murashima and Masatori Yasuda versus Shoma Kato and Tetsuya Matsumoto. A basic Young Lion match ended with the Boston Crab. A lot of these guys are just really basic.
Yeah.
Like reviewing a Young Lion match is weird because like obviously the basics and the fundamentals are good, but there's nothing really noteworthy so much happening.
I'm just glad that they've continued the the black trunks, black boots. They come out running to the ring. No, it's just nice to see because it does give you like vibes of like when you're watching the earlier Dome shows. And obviously you'd have like the Young Lions and stuff, and or like any old New Japan from previous eras. So it's just nice to see that it's still a tradition that's going on.
Yeah, and then El Phantasmo defended the New Japan World TV title against Chris Brooks. If you like modern wrestling, like especially like modern indie style, you'll like this match a lot. There was nothing wrong with it. It was more cool seeing somebody that I consider a friend doing that stuff at the Dome. That was more cool than like something I thought was actively like great. I also just
Yeah.
really don't like El Phantasmo.
Well, one thing that you mentioned, and I thought the exact same thing. I was like, why is the main camera facing the ramp? Like, you've got a full dome. Like, why aren't you showing the crowd?
Yeah, I think 2011 was when they changed from shooting at the crowd to shooting the stage. And I didn't like it then, and I don't like it now, but I
It's real
super don't
silly.
like it now when you have the I mean, for some of those dome shows where they only drew like 20,000 people and they were claiming
Right.
40, like, okay, I get it. But like this, there's a lot of goddamn people in that building. I would have loved having the camera pointed at the crowd because there were a shit ton of people.
Was the '96 show also like focused on the ramp? Because I feel like Vader and Inoki. I don't remember like a lot of the shots of the crowd itself in that match, but I might be wrong.
They have a hard camera on the ramp for that, like that's on the stage for that show for
Hmm.
sure.
Okay.
Um,
And
because
also, like, what is it with the seating of the Tokyo Dome? Because I feel like the seats that aren't on the floor used to be like a lot closer to the ring, and now it feels like they're a mile away.
yeah, I thought that was weird because like the way stuff was set up, you could easily have gotten a couple hundred more people in if you pushed, some of that stuff forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. What was next?
The stage looked good though. I mean, it reminded me of King of Colosseum too, actually.
The stage was very good, and I also like that they didn't make it like massive because the dome has those big LED boards in the outfield now anyway.
Yeah. I don't why they don't do, but I still wish they had the ramp going all the way to the ring apron like they used to.
Me too, especially for like the ceremony at the end. Like
Yeah.
Kota Ibushi came out and was not looking great.
I guess he was like running around taking pictures with fans before the show started.
Like when he had to go down the decline before you walk up on the platform to get in the ring, he had to basically like walk down it like kind of sideways.
Yeah, I mean it definitely sucks for some people. It'd be much easier if they just had a full flat surface to get to the ring.
Or if they, just let Ibushi sit ringside like they did with Muto and Fujinami.
That would help too.
There's a fucking trio for you.
Yeah.
We had the Never 6-man tag title Rumble. I'm not calling it the Rambo.
Yeah, that was a clusterfuck basically.
Yeah, Zack Sabre Jr., Ryohei Oiwa, and Hartley Jackson, who I am gobsmacked is still getting booked. God bless him. They won. It was a long, unmitigated mess. I didn't. As somebody who thought the Casino Gauntlet at All in Texas was all right, despite being kind of a similar mess, I maybe call me a hypocrite for this. I didn't really enjoy this match.
No, it was disjointed and it didn't really feel like when you have a match like this too, you expect everyone to sort of get their spots in, and it felt like nobody really did. Like the I don't remember his name, but like the idol from DDT, the pop star, he comes out with his band and he gets like a full big entrance, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to see him do some stuff during the match. And he didn't really get to do anything. Like I saw like a drop kick and a few things here and there, but like nothing spectacular. I thought that was a waste.
Yeah, I didn't know who that guy was, so when he showed up, I was like, "What?" Like when the band was out there, I was like, "Oh, so these are the guys that did the theme song we heard during the opening video." And then I saw the DDT logo, and the guy came out, and I was like, "Oh, well, clearly I'm mistaken."
Yeah, his matches got a lot of attention. I know when he was at Kirk, and it was a big deal, and people were talking about it a lot.
But you're right, he didn't really do a whole lot.
No.
I was disappointed that the Taichi, Ishii, and Kojima team didn't win this because to me they're just that's the perfect group to hold these belts. They're all good. They can all, deliver like an exciting match. And just for the love of fuck, do something with Taichi, please.
Yeah.
Um, and then we had the IWGP Women's Title versus the Strong Women's Title. Siri beat Saya Kamitani. This was good.
Yeah, I was glad to see that it was given some time. Because previously the women's matches on the Dome have been like really short. So it was good to see. Shuri winning wasn't really a surprise. I mean, it could have went either way. But honestly, it seems like, well, being the strong champion, Shuri's probably going to work some dates in the US. I mean, she was in ROH before she had surgery. So I think Kamatani in an interview before said she wasn't really interested in working the US. So, Shuri's going to be the one that's going to be going over and then maybe appears in like ROH and AEW again. So it wasn't that surprising. I was listening to with English commentary, and they sort of suggested that Kamatani like had some sort of like head issues from her match with Sariano from the Ryogoku show. They didn't say like she had a concussion or something, but like they just kept saying like head issues. I know she had like a nosebleed during that match. And they I think they delayed the press conference by like a day or something like that. So yeah, she said she's going to take some time. She's going to take a break before a match with Starlight Kid, which I think is next month. Um, yeah, it was good. Hate didn't really interfere. I think like they grabbed Shuri's legs at one point, but that was it. I did notice that when Kamatani did the dive to the outside, it looked like Momo Watanabe was off to the side. She wasn't one of the people that was catching her. She's been out injured, and I thought maybe being at the Dome, maybe it was a sign that she's ready to come back. But maybe she was just there because it's hate, and she was there to support Kamatani. But yeah, the match was good. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Shuri next. I think she's probably going to be on that New Jersey show they mentioned coming up, and yeah, maybe she'll like I said, it'll be on ROH or something again.
That show is doing terribly as far as the advanced ticket sales go, from what I understand, also.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
But they did announce, before we talk about the United Empire match, they did announce the opening night of the G1 will take place in Chicago at the Now Arena. I'm sorry, Hoffman Estates, Illinois, because people get really, really upset if you call it Chicago. Because I guess it's like 30 miles away from Chicago.
Okay.
But July 11th, the same venue AEW typically runs All Out in. I'm thinking pretty strongly about making the trip up there for it. My friend Sheaf, who flew in for my birthday week 2 years ago, the second we saw that, uh, the second I saw Now Arena, I was like, "That's Chicago." I'd start making plans, bud. Like, time off request has been submitted, even if it's rejected. My ass will be in that building for that one because
Nice.
both of my big plans for last year attending shows got blown the fuck up. So like I got to get one this year. Um, and they announced the usual run of shows like Dominion's going to be in June at Osaka Joe Hall. Wrestling Tentaku is still going to be 2 days at the International Center in Fukuoka. There's nothing really shocking there, really. Like, I think the last two shows are going to be at Ryogoku, which again, that's not shocking. Very typical New Japan big match schedule VTR at the Tokyo Dome, with the exception of the Chicago show, because I remember there was a report that the New Jersey show might be the last like New Japan strong US show, whatever the fuck you want to call it, because a lot of the top talent don't like coming over because they don't draw very well. And so, I mean, opening night of the G1 is going to do really well, especially if they announce like a decent field for it. I would imagine there's going to be some sort of AEW representation, possibly CMLL representation as well.
Yeah, I'd say
Um,
that's probably a guarantee at this point.
yeah. So then we had Jake Lee, who was XX, and Andrade El Idolo, who was X. The Great Okan Hanare and Callum Newman, which that can't possibly be that guy's real name, and why you would choose that name is beyond me. They went over Shingo Takagi, David Finlay, Gabe Kidd, Drilla Maloney, who I had never seen before today, and Hiroshi Tanahashi. This was the worst match on the show. There's all the reports about like David Finley's looking to pursue his U.S. option. So is Clark Connor. This Drilla Maloney guy is too. And I sent you a tweet that somebody had linked me to where it was like the Fightful graphics for those guys and also the Knockout Brothers. And I was like, the only people here that like would actually be bad if they left are the Knockout Brothers. The rest of them, like losing them is not a negative for New Japan. Like David Finley's been there for a decade. I've never been super enthusiastic about him. Clark Connor sucks. I saw him at the first Forbidden Door. He replaced Ishii. He's just, yeah, not great. And my first time seeing the Drill Maloney guy, my takeaway was like, oh yeah, no, it's true. Like 98% of the white guys that work New Japan are just fucking dog shit. He's terrible.
We didn't even mention it in the 6-man match. Tekla came out with Clark Connors, and it's just so random. Like I know they're together, but like it wasn't like announced beforehand or anything. You know, she just shows up. I thought that was strange, but yeah, a lot of white boys are possibly finishing up with New Japan. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, honestly, like with the Japanese economy being what it is, I don't fault any of the Western talent for thinking like maybe they can get more. Almost certainly, they can get more money.
Yeah.
In the US, and anything that increases the amount of native talent on Japanese wrestling shows and decreases the Western talent, to me is a good thing. I understand that like the thought process for years now has been to get Western fans to spend money on Japanese wrestling. You need the white guys. I don't think that's the case because there were a lot of people that subscribed to New Japan World for the first time in a long time, specifically because of the main event, which were two Japanese wrestlers. And I understand that's not I understand that like it's a big occasion too, but like I don't know. With all due respect, I don't know that there would have been as much. Like I don't know that they would have had 47,000 people if it was like if Osprey could have done it or if Jay White could have done it and come over and had the match. I don't think they sell the dome out for maybe if it was Kenny, but I really don't think Kenny sells more than Okada. Like the context is important. Like one last time for like the iconic rivalry that if you were somebody that jumped on during the Bushi Road era, that was what the whole promotion was built on.
Mm-hmm.
And I just I get tired of seeing New Japan lineups where like half the fucking lineup are like Westerners and most of them suck.
Telling you,
It's
if they leave, then you need to start looking at like local guys and like training them from the ground up and bring them in because you can get them. I mean, they're unless they become big stars, they're not going to leave. So it's more local. It's more Japanese talent to have. I think that's just the way to go. I don't know why they don't do that.
and also like establish connections within the sumo and judo and like karate fucking communities again.
I
And,
mean, it's
like Nagata's been recruiting people from amateur wrestling for years, but like today was proof positive. Let's get some fucking judoka up in this bitch.
I like the only time I've seen Nagata recently is with skewers in his head while he's dancing to the score by Emerson, Lake and Powell.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, I saw a picture of him with the Steelers, and I was like, yeah, because this is better than just finding a way for Yuji Nagata to have competitive matches on your shows. That's great.
I thought
Um,
Shuri was going to roll her eyes back in her head when she had Kamatani and the armbar as a tribute.
yeah, that would have been funny.
Yeah.
Desperado beat Kosei Fujita, Taiji Ishimori, and Show. This was a four-way match that went 8 minutes, and it was probably better than the previous match, but they had like run-ins and shit. Like it's a fucking four-way match. Just get into your stuff. Get it.
I think that's another division that needs some rebuilding. I mean, bring in Tommy Billington.
How the fuck is it that the first promotion running Dynamite Kid Jr.
Dude.
versus Tiger Mask is Jersey Championship Wrestling? How in the
Yeah.
fuck did that not get booked? Like, book that for the New Japan Anniversary show.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Book it for fucking Collision, because that's the show it would work on anyway.
Do you think
Like,
when Tiger Mask retires, they look at bringing in a fifth one?
well, I would hope that New Japan always has some form of representation of Tiger Mask.
Yeah.
I also don't know
Who you would put it
I
on?
don't know. Yeah, like you'd have to have somebody coming back from like an excursion or just somebody in the dojo, and that name carries with it like a lot of expectations, and I
Yeah.
don't. And also, like they haven't done anything with the Tiger Mask IP in Japan since W ended, so I mean, if somebody had the idea to launch a new Tiger Mask anime, that would be like perfect.
It would be cool if they rebuilt the division around like Tiger Mask, Black Tiger, Dynamite Kid. That would be fun stuff.
Yeah, or just something like it can't just keep being like Desperado's different, but like a
Hmm.
lot of the guys that are native wrestle like Westerners because there's been like a weird homogenization that happened.
Yeah.
And you got to jettison a lot of these guys and start looking at like fucking establish some sort of an agreement with like I don't even know,
Just
just somebody that has a juniors division where people don't wrestle like they're trying to audition for like 2016 PWG.
yeah.
Um, that brings us to the big three because it was only a 7 match card. Aaron Wolf beat Evil just short of 13 minutes. He beat him with the Shinya Hashimoto triangle armbar gimmick,
Nice.
which is fitting because when he took his gi off to reveal that he was wearing the Young Lion gear, basically exactly like Young Lion Hashimoto. It was awesome. So I mentioned this to you yesterday in a DM, and I mentioned it before we started recording. I made the mistake of watching the post wrestling thing where John Pollock was being super snarky about like basically expecting Aaron Wolf to be a shitty wrestler based on those the interactions where he would come in and judo throw people. And I need to say this really quickly. I don't know how you could watch any of the like pull aparts he did where he was just judo throwing people and thinking this guy might not be a good wrestler. He's a gold medal judoka who just throws people around. That's what do you want him to be if it's not that?
Yeah,
Um,
I thought, originally when you mentioned it, he was talking about like just a guy that comes in with like a following and someone that the fans know beforehand. But the way you describe it, like he actually thought he was pretty bad beforehand, and I was like, that doesn't make sense because he hasn't had a match. He's not really doing too much so far.
yeah, he compared it to like a celebrity match where the celebrity sticks around, which Aaron Wolf went through the dojo. Granted, it was like 7 months from the announcement of his signing to this match, but he did not look bad in this match. Everything he did looked good. They let him fuck up basically all but like two people in the House of Torture,
Good.
and the crowd was really into him. If you see anybody on social media like, "Oh, that match sucked," or "This guy looked bad," those people have fucking brain rot. When this match was over, everybody I was talking to during the show was like, "He's the guy. Have him fucking drop the Never title in the summer. Have him win the G1. There's nobody else. It's him. That's your guy."
Yeah, if you're gonna make the comparison with like a celebrity, like the better example is Fuwa-chan and Stardom, who just had like her first singles match. Um, she's had like two tag matches in like 2003, 2023, 2022. So she's someone that's she was like an influence on a YouTuber. So that's really like that if you're going to compare it to like Americans, that's a celebrity comparison. And by the way, she was really good. She did the most impressive thing she did in her match was a switch to a octopus stretch, and I say that was the most impressive because it looked like an amateur wrestler doing it. Like it was so fast and smooth. And then of course she did that Shining Wizard, which was awesome. Um, And also, she was in there with Hazuki, who's like incredibly underrated. But yeah, I think that's a better comparison if you're going to talk about like celebrities in pro wrestling. Although
Yeah, I
she had her own training as well. She like apparently just like flew to LA and was like knocking on doors like I need to train, and then she went to the UK after that, I guess.
don't know that I would go to the UK to train at this point.
I wonder where she went in LA. It's like was it like the Santino Brothers School or something like that?
Oh yeah, Joey Chaos. It used to be
Yeah.
Joey Chaos and Supreme. Yeah, man, R.I.P. Supreme.
Yeah.
The semifinal was Yota Tsuji defeating Konosuke Takeshita to retain the global title and win the world title. Um, they went just short of 30. This match was great. There was a little bit too much like melodrama in it for me, like just staring at each other before something happens. And they did the Osprey Danielson like shootout spot where they go to the corner because they each have like a running move they do. But Tsuji beat him with the Boston Crab, which you know
Oh,
that's the young lion killer. And it's just a great match. The best match I've seen Takeshita in a minute, honestly. Um, Tsuji clearly, when they brought him back and they had him wrestle Naito, he should have beat him then. He has a ton of charisma. He's a big dude too, and also Gene Blast is a really fucking funny finisher name because of
yeah.
what it implies.
It's what Mean Gene used to go by in the 80s.
In some circles, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then like as he's cutting his promo, here comes Jake Lee, and I just blurted out, "Oh no, 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 no." Um, I don't know if you know the Gene Blaster can get a good one out of Jake Lee, but also Jake Lee being the first title defense basically guarantees Suji's not losing on his first defense. So
Right.
I'm fine with that. And then the main event, the reason we were all up at fucking 5 a.m. watching the show. Kazuchika Okada defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi in 33:03 with the Rainmaker. They probably did a little too much in this match, but my counterpoint to that is I don't give a shit. This match was awesome.
What
The
theme did
crowd
they have
was electric.
Okada come out with?
Okada uses AEW music. Tanahashi used Go Ace,
Okay.
which I thought was a miss because you probably could have had him use Rainmaker and Tanahashi use High Energy, and
Yeah.
both probably got pretty big reactions because Tanahashi hasn't used High Energy since like what 2016.
Or you could have had it just like in the intro, like in Muto's last match, where he had all his previous songs in the intro.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
Um, but they did like a long match. Nothing Tanahashi did look bad. He didn't embarrass himself, which I saw people that were convinced that was going to happen. I was convinced he was going to look a little older than he did the last time I saw him, but he looked about the same. He gave everything he had. Okada did the big flying elbow drop.
Oh, nice.
He also did the fuck you elbow drop. And I'm convinced the fuck you elbow drop was a receipt for the flipping senton. Both of those that Tanahashi did looked like they could not have been particularly fun to be on the receiving end of. Because it's the Jeff Hardy thing where like you can't get up as much as you like normal like you used to be able to anymore. So like it's straight up and then like abruptly just
Yeah.
and but yeah, the match was great. The retirement ceremony after the match was great. Jay White came out, which was a big shock.
I fully expected him to be there.
I don't know why I didn't, because like there's been so much like talk of he's out injured. It's going to be a long time before he comes back. I don't really want to speculate, but he did not have a lot of the size that he had the last time we saw him, which led me to think maybe it might have been a neck injury. Because I can't think of what else would cause somebody to lose that much mass. He didn't look like bad or anything, but it was like noticeable. Like
Yeah.
he's way smaller. Osprey came out looking basically the same. Kenny and Kota Ibushi came out again. They made Ibushi, who just had a broken ankle, fucking 3 months ago. They made him walk down the ramp,
They
which
should have wheeled him out, but knowing Ibushi, that was probably wouldn't be a good idea either.
no. Um, and then it was like, oh, is that it? And then Takeover hit, and here comes Shibata. He came out doing the fingers in his ears shtick like he does in America, and I was like, God damn, I love this guy. He got in the ring. He took off the Ops t-shirt, threw it on the ground, locked up with Tanahashi. They exchanged chops. That was really fucking cool.
Nice.
And then Keiji Muto showed up. And what I thought was really funny was like everybody was basically doing like the Tanahashi pose. Muto just did the Muto hands because fuck you on Muto. Tatsumi Fujinami was there.
That's cool.
He obviously doesn't get around the greatest. He's also really, really fucking old.
Still going.
Yeah, he's also not bad. Still, as rough as he gets around, he's still a really good wrestler because he never did anything stupid. He was mainly just grappling.
No. Yeah,
you can wrestle forever if you just grapple. And then at the end, they had Naito come out, and he took fucking forever to the point that like they panned to Tanahashi, and he like points at his wrist, and he's like doing the wrap it up thing. Naito took forever to get in the ring. He did a promo. Tanahashi did his promo. They did the 10 bell salute, and I went to bed right after the 10 bell. I guess Tanahashi went out on like a fucking like the gimmick they used to have like the King of the Ring on in the WWF. I just saw him on like a gondola lift type thing that kind of looked like it. There's still some magic left in New Japan Pro Wrestling. It like that show breezed by. The worst match on the show was still probably like 2 stars, so like not even like a really bad match. Like it's just okay.
Yeah.
Everything I expected to deliver did. Yeah, just a tremendous evening in Tokyo, which was morning time here in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. But it was a wonderful show. I have no regrets. I completely fucked my sleep schedule up to be able to see this, and I'm happy I did.
I couldn't do it. I was like, if I stay up, like we're not going to get the show done because I will not be able to do it. I'll be a zombie. So I years ago I would have been able to do it, but now I'm just like I don't have it in me anymore. I'm too old.
Oh, I took a nap at like 6:00 last night.
Yeah,
I was like, look, man, I was a menace on the Fire Pro Club Facebook group the night of the 2014 G1 final because I'd been up for 31 hours and I was just shit posting like a motherfucker. I could not do that now, especially having like a full-time job. There was no way. And speaking of things that there was no way I could have enjoyed them live because of my full-time job, there was a Ryzen show on New Year's Eve. 8.5 hours, like 14 fights. The big takeaway that I had was what was the guy's name? Razabali Shadulayev. He beat the shit. He beat the shit out of Kai Asakura's brother. Like everybody shits on Herb Dean for allowing fighters to take way too much damage. I didn't catch who the ref was for that fight, but it was clear after like a couple of shots on the ground that Asakura was done, and then he ate like 9 more.
Ugh.
And he had to be stretchered out too. If I was Kai Asakura, I would have found that motherfucker. That wouldn't have been pleasant. The co-main event was Nazimov was the guy's last name. He fucking flatlined Roberto Satoshi like 14 seconds with a flying knee. That was a great fight. I was kind of surprised to see fucking Rena was still around. I remember she was a big deal to a lot of people during those like Twitter watch along stream sessions like years ago. She did not win, unfortunately. She got beat by guillotine choke. The fight that stands out to me the most was the worst fight on the card, which was Joji Goto against fucking Jose Torres. This is back in the day when Pride had Westerners or even just people that weren't from Japan. Those motherfuckers fought like they wanted to win a fight. That was before the UFC broke everybody's brains with the "don't fight to win, fight not to lose" mentality. This little fucker with his purple hair, he did nothing but grapple and made no attempt to do any significant damage the entire fight, and then acted disappointed when he lost a split decision. In a system that's not...
Sounds like a fun thing to watch.
Yeah, it was brutal. Like, nobody explained to him, we don't do the fucking 10-point thing over here, kiddo. You actually have to fight to win a fight here.
Yeah.
It was such a disservice to every. I'm not going to tell you every fight on the card was incredible, but it was a very, very fun 8.5 hour goddamn trot. Crow Cop showed up.
Oh, nice.
Noguera was there, and I had heard years ago. I think everybody's seen the report that Crow Cop had a stroke. He didn't look like a guy that had a stroke. Crow Cop looked like he could put the fucking shorts on and fight. Like, still, like, just a big motherfucker and everything. And I was like, I think we might have been misled on something here. They also announced for March 7th, which is the week of the Max Holloway Charles Oliveira fight, that Kazushi Sakuraba's son is fighting somebody from the Vanderlei Silva fight team. And I haven't looked at the record of the guy that Saku Jr. is fighting, but I have seen all three of his fights. I don't know that throwing him to somebody who trains with Vanderlei Silva is a great thing for his development as a fighter right now. But we're going to fucking see.
Yeah, I might have to check that out.
I also signed up for Ryzen TV because you get the pay-per-views for free. Pay $20 for the pay-per-view or pay $17 to get access to everything. Tremendous business model. And I saw they did a Frank Shamrock Kazushi Sakuraba grappling match, right? And I was like, nobody told me about this. What the fuck? And then I watched it. They don't do any grappling. They like walk up to each other, kind of lock up. They break the lock up and just like repeat that for 10 minutes. I watched that on the way to work and I was like fucking depressed. I was like, my day can't get any worse than this.
Sounds like a tutorial.
Yeah, like it's like a fucking tutorial in a wrestling game where it's like walk up to your opponent and grapple. Great,
Yeah.
do it again. Oh, it was depressing because I was like, if those guys just go to the mat, this could be really interesting. And they didn't even come close to going to the mat. It was heartbreaking. But yeah, Ryzen's still good. I think the biggest like stumbling block for me is that I can't watch it live. And not that I have an aversion to watching MMA on tape delay, but my brain's still in that like 10 years ago mentality of like, it was so much fun having the live feed during the show and there's like 150 people watching. Like we got Ryzen fucking trending worldwide because there's so many of us watching the show. So when you take that experience out of it, I'm a little less enthusiastic to watch via time delay. But yeah, they still have the superior rule set. They don't do the 10-minute first round anymore. I wish they did, because and I get why they don't, because nobody else does it. So like, you have to train differently for Ryzen, and Ryzen's never going to the era where the Japanese MMA company has the best roster in the world. That's long gone. They can't compete with the UFC.
Yeah.
They have too much fucking money. There's nothing they can do. But they do have a more exciting product. They also have way less downtime between fights. It was not 15 fucking minutes between bouts on that card. It was very pro wrestling, like to the next match.
That's good.
But yeah, Ryzen's great. I'm excited to see that show on March 7th. Maybe I can I have that whole weekend off, so maybe I can fuck up my sleep pattern to watch Ryzen and UFC live. Speaking of UFC, before we get to World's End, the Paramount Plus deal started. There's a lot of fights on there. And they also have like a 2000s archive. They have a 2010s archive, but I don't care that much about that. If you go to the numbered events and you go to the 2000s archive, it is, I'm not even exaggerating, it's like 80% Chuck Liddell fights, and the other 20% are like George St. Pierre, Brock Lesnar, and Anderson Silva. It's not a lot of footage, but they've also said it's going to be a growing library of classic fights. So maybe it'll be like the AEW stuff on HBO Max, where like every month they trickle some more in, because it's the UFC's 32 years old. It's a lot of content. I also noticed under the Fight Nights tab, they didn't have a lot of fights that I expected to be up, like Bigfoot versus Mark Hunt from 2013 isn't there, and that's maybe the best fight that ever took place on a Fight Night card. They didn't have they didn't have like Tito Ortiz and Ken Shamrock from the Fight Night in 06, like the third fight between those two. And it's just a bunch of stuff missing day one. What I did think was cool though was they have the Crow Cop versus Gonzaga Spike TV special from '07 on there. That was pre-taped. I probably told the story on here before. But I saw the results and I thought it was a joke that Gonzaga beat Crow Cop in the most Crow Cop way possible. So I was watching that on the phone with my friend Sheaf, and Gonzaga fucking left high kicks him. And it was just like, what the fuck, man? That wasn't a rib. Like he actually did kill Crow Cop. I just wish there was the 2000 stuff. I just wish there was more from the boom period. I wish like Ultimate Fighter is going to be on there. Are we going to get archives for the Ultimate Fighter? Can I watch season one? Can we stop taking old tough seasons off of YouTube and just put them on Paramount Plus, please?
Yeah, I mean, you should have everything, really, shouldn't you?
Yeah, and like again, even if not day one, hopefully it fills out quickly. But also for anybody wondering, no Pride, no WEC, none of the other libraries they own. My assumption is that that stuff is going to be used either on YouTube or just as a like, hey, if you really want to see this stuff, get a Fight Pass subscription.
That's
Which
probably going to be the way it is.
which Fight Pass was great until like they did an update at one point and they started cropping the old Pancrase and Pride footage to make it widescreen.
Ugh.
Like I love watching fights where somebody's in guard and they posture up and you can't see their fucking face anymore and you can barely see the face of the person that's like on the ground.
They didn't even do that for like Pride Classics on Spike, did they?
No. No, they just
No.
put like the pillar boxes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. There was a point where they reverted back to the 4x3 with just like black pillar boxes on the sides, but it was weird when I was like, I'm gonna watch stuff from Shockwave '02, and I was like, oh god, it's the Noguera and Bob Sapp stare down, and I can't see like half of Bob Sapp's head. Why would you do this?
I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah, like, well, when you take a 4x3 camera shot of a guy that's that goddamn tall and you crop it to where you lose like a third of the picture, it was like you see like his like basically like the lower half of his face to like where like basically like his waist. It was just like, why would you crop this? This looks so stupid.
Does K1 have a streaming service?
I fucking wish.
Would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it?
I would probably and oh, by the way, speaking of Ryzen TV and Paramount Plus, I did the math. If you wanted to follow both of those promotions, like, and you went with the cheapest method, which was like the annual subs, it's only like $340 some a year to follow like both of the top MMA promotions and get everything they do live. That's not that expensive at all. I mean, you have to do the payments up front, so like for some people doing both of them at once would probably be a little silly. But like just on like the face of it, like in terms of the actual like amount you're being charged, that's really not that bad for how much content you get access to. And also if you have a Paramount Plus sub, you get cheers. But there's also the whole supporting the Ellisons thing, which, you know.
Well, you get Kelsey Grammer and Dana White.
Oh god, if I see fucking Frazier in the crowd on that January 24th show, I'm very happy.
Oh, I'm not watching that shit.
I'm watching the first one. I got to know what happens with Kayla Harrison and Amanda Nunes. I know people that are like, I'm gonna watch that White House card, and I was like, there's one way they can get me to watch it, and they never will, and that's if they pay George St. Pierre and Anderson Silva $25 million a piece to get them to finally have that fight. Because at that point, I got to know what the fuck that looks like. But that's not going to happen, so I'm not going to watch. Because I don't give a shit. The idea that we're doing that in general is like insane. Like, how do we get to the point where like, oh yeah, no, the big government building is where we're gonna host a fucking cage fighting card.
It's literally something from a video game. You know, where you have like a landmark in the background of like a 2D fighter. It's so stupid.
It's fucking Collision in Korea.
Yeah, that's a good example.
If they did that in front of whatever the North Korea State House was instead of the fucking Pyongyang Stadium.
God.
And then yeah, and seeing fighters, seeing Sean Strickland, that disgusting piece of shit of all people, like, yeah, I'm not fighting on that fucking card. They're not going to let the fans in, but I'm going to fight in front of the fucking Epstein list. Yeah, I'm good. Like, Jesus Christ, Sean Strickland might have a clue about one thing in this world. Which is a real shame he doesn't have a clue about anything else. Fucking moron. And I can say that because I've watched Sean Strickland fight, and I wholeheartedly believe he could stop him from taking. So, because if you just walk forward and wing a couple of really easy to fucking block punches, then lift your leg up and then put it back down, you probably don't have to take that. And then last weekend we saw AEW World's End from the Now Arena in Chicago, and I heard, because I don't use Twitter, I only get sent links occasionally to shit. I heard a lot of people really weren't big on this show. I understand that wholeheartedly.
I didn't see a lot of discussion about it at all, other than, you know, the wrestling accounts that would like the news accounts that would tweet stuff out, but like in general, I didn't really see people talking about it.
You know what? I could see that. It wasn't World's End the last few years, especially last year and this year, where it was like you're going to get the semifinals and finals of the T1. It feels like that's the only stuff anybody cared about, and everything else on the card was just kind of incidental.
I forgot it was on until the day of, and I mean, you know, it's a holiday season. You know, there's all sorts of different things going on. I forgot when, like, Jesus, Dynamite. I forgot what day it was because again, it's the holidays and everything's sort of mixed up. You some days you think it's a Saturday and it's actually a Tuesday, and so it's just it's just not a good time for people to be focused on wrestling, you know, as opposed to everything else.
Yeah. They brought back 0 Hour. They didn't do a tailgate brawl on TNT for this, so we got 4 matches that didn't really do a whole lot for me. Sisters of Sin beat High in a Mile World. It was all right. This crowd didn't care. Eddie Kingston beat one of the grizzled young vet guys. The crowd didn't care. Mascara Dorada and Bandito beat Mark Davis and Rocky Romero. They tried really hard. This crowd didn't care. Jet Speed and Jurassic Express beat Josh Alexander and then Ricochet and his group. This, I don't even remember watching this. I think I might have gotten up to make myself something to eat because, like, whatever. They didn't do the gimmick where the pre-show bleeds onto the pay-per-view for the first time in a few months, so that was nice. We opened up with Okada versus Takeshita, and it was good. I think I heard Dave gave it like 4.25 or something. It was not that good.
I heard it wasn't good.
Huh?
I heard it wasn't good.
I think people expected like a G1 final type of match, but also like this had to have like the heavy storyline stuff where Okada uses the screwdriver on Takeshita to get the win, which was probably in service to like, hey, New Japan, we're not going to beat your champion clean a week before he loses the belt. Takeshita's weird, man. Like, he can have great matches, but he also doesn't have a lot of things that I think he probably should for how big he is. He doesn't have like any sort of intensity. There's no like urgency to what he does. He can do a lot of really cool shit. Like, I loved that Avalanche Blue Thunder bomb he did to Yota Tsuji this morning. That looked crazy. It was probably a lot of fun to be on the receiving end of too. But there's not like super impressive athletically, but there's not like a lot of oomph behind stuff that he does. And he also is like a big like leg slap guy, which for a guy that big, just fucking forearm someone, man.
Yeah.
And that plays into why I don't like a lot of his, like the Darby Allin match. That's the Darby Allin special. I'm going to take somebody that's bigger than me and I'm going to die on the cross, and you're going to think this motherfucker is awesome when this match is over. Because there's one of those on World's End. More on that later. But like, there's for every match that's like that, or that Brian Cage match he had that was really good, or like the Mox, like he had a bunch of really fun matches in the T1. But then there's like the matches like this where you would think like, oh no, this is going to be like 4.5 easy. It's these two, and it just didn't work. Like Okada was motivated clearly. Takeshita probably was motivated. I just don't think the match was laid out in a way to get the best out of them. But also, Takeshi's still technically a heel trying to work babyface. Okada's like, still hard heel. I think once this turn happens and Takeshi's full on babyface and he gets to like fire up and shit, I think they'll have a better match. But the current incarnation of Takeshita versus the current incarnation of Takada, honestly, I should have expected a match that was about this good.
Yeah, and AEW said we're not going to have the IWGP champion lose clean, and DDT said we're going to put him against Danshogo Dino like that day before the Tokyo
Dome. So yeah, that was like a solid 3.5. The best match on the show was the second match. Jon Moxley has redeemed himself. Like everything from like that trios title loss onward this year has been like a steady incline to like, no, he's actually he's good again. Yeah, no, he might be good again. There was the Hangman match at the Aragon Ballroom that I thought got a little too cute with some of the stuff. But even then, like after that, it's like, no, he's still good. He's trending upward. And when this match was over, I was like, you know what? I feel like I just watched a match with the two best wrestlers in the world. That match was crazy. Kyle Fletcher got dumped right on his shit with an avalanche sleeper suplex.
Yeah, that was gross.
The brainbuster on the apron was really good. It was also really clear that Fletcher protected him the entire way down. And, Okada screwed over both of his Don Callis family stablemates because he took the screwdriver in the first match, which was, I guess, meant to be there for Fletcher if he needed it against Moxley, and he didn't have it. And Moxley choked him out. That match was incredible. If you haven't seen that match and you want to check out one thing from World's End, that's the one. That match was fucking unbelievable. Just great match. FTR beat the Bang Bang Gang. This was a Chicago street fight, and basically everything they did in this match didn't require it to actually be a street fight. You could just do a ref bump. Very weird match. Stokely fucking almost dies taking a bump off the apron. He basically slides off the table and hits his head on the announce table.
Oh, God.
Like they had a table set up on the floor, and he went to bump backwards onto it, and he just like boop, boop, and then hit the fucking table, and it was like, oh, yeah, that probably wasn't fun.
He had Tony Schiavone read a note on Collision, I guess it was, and he's in the Vivian Banks Medical Center.
Oh God, yeah, I saw the thing where like they're calling him Little Lashley. Is what he said. Stokely is a gift to all of us, honestly. So yeah, that was not great. And then we had the Babes of Wrath versus Athena and Mercedes for the women's tag titles. This was pretty good. I was shocked by how good it was because Harley Cameron is improving, but still not very good at all. I think they're going a little too far with Mercedes loses every match because you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. There's probably a way to have done this story the way they did the Moxley one, where like he lost the belt, but they didn't job him fucking 5 million times. Like it was kind of like, ebbs and flows, and now he's on the upward swing. I also get that like Mercedes losing humbles that character a little bit, but like if she just keeps losing, eventually when all of those belts are gone, it's going to become abundantly clear, like, oh, she's about to start winning all the time again.
Right, exactly.
And then you end up in the same spot with people being tired. I still haven't seen the Willow match from Wednesday. I've heard it was great. I'm not shocked. But yeah, this match is good. Mercedes said fuck on a pay-per-view later in the night when she challenged Willow for Wednesday. It was kind of shocking. The next match was, as I look at the card, it was the Darby Allin special, because you've never seen a Gabe Kidd match better than this. Double juice. Darby takes a bunch of fucking crazy bumps for him. They do they put a plate on top of the steel steps, so when Gabe Kidd slingshotted Darby, it would knock the top plate off and look like they broke the steps. Just tremendous chaos for like about 13 minutes, and then Darby won because he has to. At this point, he has to beat these guys.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of discussion that this should have been the street fight and not the FTR match, and while I agree, it was a case of they did everything they were going to do anyway, regardless if they had the stipulation or not.
So is Gabe Kidd, is he done with New Japan now? Like,
I've seen speculation that that World's End was basically him auditioning for the full-time gig, because I'm assuming his contract is up either this month or next.
So he could be done tonight.
Oh yeah, New Year's Dash. We got Tony Storm, Roderick Strong, Mark Briscoe, and Orange Cassidy beating Claudio Castagnoli, Daniel Garcia, Wheeler Yuta, and Marina Shafir. I mean no disrespect to anybody in this match when I say this. There was no reason for this match to be on the fucking pay-per-view. This could have been on the pre-show. This could have been on TV.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It just kind of happened, and this show did not run until 12:30, like the last few have. But there needs to be a conversation had with Tony Khan that, like, if you're going to do the 4-hour show, 4.5-hour show, these shows have to start earlier in the day, especially not even just like, well, if you're in the West Coast, an 8 p.m. start time here would be 5 p.m. there. It's still 8 p.m. for the East Coast. You have to consider everybody watching the show. This match went on, and it felt like the crowd had started to really drop off. And I'm not one of those people like, oh, the crowd has to be super electric. It makes things better, makes things more enjoyable. But like, this crowd tapered the fuck off in this match. They did not care. Chris Statlander and Jamie Hayter attempted homicide on each other in the match after this. The crowd did not give a shit because it was late and they wanted to see the Continental Classic final, and they wanted to see the 4-way title match. Hayter and Statlander was good. I felt really bad because they did do some like really big like head droppy type stuff, and it just seemed like this crowd was get the actual main events on, which
it's a shame.
Yeah, they both tried really hard. It was good. It would have been better in front of a crowd that actually gave a shit. Moxley beat Okada to win the Continental Classic. Interesting match. I understand why people that didn't like it. A lot of heavy selling of the ankle by Moxley, which was interesting to see. I don't know if these two have a better match in them. It was just kind of like, you know how like AEW Okada has those matches sometimes?
Yeah,
this was one of them. It wasn't that he wasn't trying either. The crowd was kind of deflated. They came back up for it, but it wasn't. They didn't get like the fucking G1 final level like effort. It felt like, but what they did was still good. Moxley cuts a babyface promo afterward. Basically, I don't know if they're going to turn. I've talked with my friend Kara about this. I don't know if they're going to turn the whole group, but they're for sure turning Moxley. Because that promo basically smacked of like, this is the AEW I loved. This is what I wanted the company to be again.
They're going to put the rest of them in the Don Callis family, aren't they?
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's what that stable needs. Another fucking like 5 members. Jesus Christ. I saw someone screenshotted me, Peter Rosenberg, like, oh, right before the main event's a great time for a promo about God knows what. Yeah. And someone quote tweeted that with like, MJF really got his buddy to fucking tweet this shit.
Jesus.
I don't know what the connection is there, but like, yeah, I could maybe see like somebody, maybe even unprompted, somebody that would be like buddies with Max, like, oh, this is so stupid, guys, like right before Max goes on. And I guess now's a good time to talk about that match because it fucking sucked. We got to retire 4-way matches. We gotta retire like triple threats until people can figure out how to like not do the same match every time. It was obvious from the get-go MJF was winning this match. It was obvious from the get-go it was going to come at the expense of Hangman Page. It was obvious from the get-go it was going to be a complete fuck finish. Hangman goes for the buckshot on Joe. MJF slides in, kicks him in the nuts, throws him out of the ring, hits that stupid teeter-totter pile driver he does on Samoa Joe, which having Samoa Joe lose to that move is fucking mind-blowing to me. I mean, I guess he can't hit Joe with a brainbuster, he can't hit him with a tombstone, and he can't. Joe's not going to tap out to the fucking Fujiwara armbar, so I guess that's what you got. Max should just start doing the pedigree. He wants to be Triple H so fucking bad.
I don't see it with him anymore. I don't know why we have to have a MJF world title run at the start of 2026.
Yeah, you would have thought after 3 years ago they would have learned the fucking lesson.
Yeah, and I guess now Kenny's going to lose to him. That's the next match, right?
That seemed to be what they were setting up for, like, Revolution, yeah.
Ugh.
And, like, he's wrestling Bandito, so I'm assuming we're getting some of that classic MJF casual racism on Wednesday to fucking lead into that match. And, like, Dynamite opened with a fucking 20-minute Triple H segment. And at least they did the thing where, like, a bunch of people made it clear they want shots at the title, but I don't really need to see MJF beat Swerve or Hangman or Joe or Kenny. Like, when he dropped that belt to Joe, that should have been it for him as a top guy. Like, he can be an international title guy. That's fucking fine.
Yeah.
But he's not the guy. I know that Tony wants him to be the guy. I know that a lot of people think, and also WWE just pissed off like their entire fucking fan base. And I saw people, maybe in bad faith, but I saw a lot of sentiment on like Instagram and like just other shit where people were like, yeah, I think I'm going to check out AEW now. And you put the belt on the most fucking WWE guy that you have in the most WWE fashion as possible. And then you open your fucking next TV with the most WWE segment you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking stupid. And this is going to strangle the world title until what? Probably Ospreay comes back, wins the Owen, and wins the belt at Wembley?
That's what I figure, yeah.
Like, I don't know that I have 8 months of watching an MJF title reign in me, because I didn't exactly have fucking 13 months in me the last time, because I started just checking out for long periods of time. That was also like peak fucking CM Punk drama, too, and it tainted AEW and a lot of the people in it for me for a very long time, and sure got that out of my system. But like, I don't care. Bryan Danielson worked his ass off for like an hour and 10 minutes end to end trying to get a great match out of him during that first title reign, and Bryan Danielson couldn't fucking do it. Like, what else can you say? Like, Bryan Danielson couldn't do it, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
the greatest American wrestler of the modern era couldn't drag this fucker to a good match. I know a lot of people love that match. That match fucking sucked. It was terrible.
I mean, I think he can have good matches, but they're not good enough that I want to see as a main event world title run. You know, it's, as you said, he'd be best serving like the international, whatever. God, there's so many belts now. Fine, that's fine. But like the world title run, I don't want to see this wrestler, this character be anywhere near it again. It does, as you talk about Triple H, and it's like, I didn't want to watch Raw when Triple H was on, and I don't want to watch. I mean, when I found out that he won, I was like, I really don't kind of want to watch the TV for the next week. And it was, again, that was a holiday thing as well. It's like, you know, forgetting when it was on. But I'll probably get back to Dynamite this week. But if MGF is going to have like another 20-minute promo, I'm just going to be checked out the whole time.
I don't blame you.
He's coming off getting kicked out of the Hurt Syndicate. He looked like a goddamn loser in that thing, and then he comes back and he's straight in the title picture and wins it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no like progression from there. It's just like you look like an idiot and now you're world champion.
And the promo where he returned really sucked too.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm gonna compare Swerve to Diddy because they're black and they make music, and Swerve calls himself a mogul.
Oh,
Like, fuck off, man. So yeah, that those were like the three big events that happened. I do want to acknowledge this. I saw that Stardom sold out the current configuration of Ryogoku, and I did also see the the president or whatever saying like we're not going to claim this to be like a no vacancy because it's not a no vacancy. Like we can't run the full capacity, but they
yeah.
drew like 6,700.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. It was really distracting when I was watching the show because it reminds me of like the Galactic Senate from Star Wars when they have all those like booths in the background because you just see like the metal or whatever on the booths and you can't really make out the fans too well because of like in darkness, so it's like really distracting. But yeah, I think they drew more than what New Japan did there last time. And it was a pretty good show. I mean, I don't think there was anything that was like over the top must see, but I thought overall it was a good show. People seemed to enjoy it. I watched it live, and then you go on Twitter after the show and everyone's bitching about it. But yeah, the Fuwa Chan match I thought was really really fun. Sari and Natsupoi was really good. I mean, just overall, like the rumble that they had was fun stuff. There was like a bit of comedy mixed in there. It was just fun to watch. Um, the main event with Ano and Kamatani, it wasn't the best Kamatani match or the best Soriano match for that matter. Um, Kamatani, and I know people don't like this, but she's got like a stick now a shtick that she very much keeps to, which is like a lot of stalling. She'll bring a chair into the ring and sit on the chair and pose, and a lot of posing. And then as it goes on, she starts bringing out her moveset. And some people are like, they seem to be like tired of that. Um, in general, I don't really have a problem with it. It was just like at this point, the Ryogoku crowd wasn't very lively to begin with. And I think there was just something maybe to do with the audio mixing as well. It felt like maybe that they could have been turned up a bit. And also it was a long show, so when you're getting into like the end of the fourth hour into the fifth hour, it's like okay, I'm ready to sleep now. But yeah, it was enjoyable. I thought Walker Stewart does the whole show by himself, which is kind of crazy. But I like him as a commentator because he really seems to be like appreciative, and he's got some sort of role in Stardom now, like foreign something, or I don't know exactly what it was, but yeah, he just seems like he's really into it. And they used to have some of the wrestlers doing commentary with him, like Waka or Momokogo. But the problem was when they had the wrestlers doing commentary, they'd be silent for a lot of the matches, and he would sort of have to ask them to speak at some points. So now it's just him doing the whole show, which was like a task, to do like a 5-hour wrestling show by yourself. So I wonder if at some point they'll bring in somebody again to do commentary with him. But yeah, it was fun, and they set up some matches. They set up Kamatani and Starlight Kid coming up, and Rina and Konami for the Wonder of Stardom title. Enex's V and Mi Vida Loca went to a double count out with Megan Bain doing a suicide dive to the outside onto everyone at the 18 count. What a crazy schedule she's had going back and forth between the US and Japan. Her and Bozilla together was really fun. She gave Bozilla an overhead belly to belly and like a Hurricane Rana, and Bozilla gave her like a double power bomb. And Maika and Suzu Suzuki got into a brawl. I think it was yesterday when they had a ENX's v Mi Vida Loca match. I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe a cage match because they've done that with units before. Maybe a death match when you've got Rina Yamashita and you've got Suzu Suzuki in there and Maika. Maybe that's something they could do. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it because it should be fun. You got to assume that Megan's going to be back for that because yeah, they've really been like pushing her against Bozilla. So yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Also, I did look it up just to note they drew like 1,200 more than the Takeshita Zack Sabre Jr. title change did.
Oh, nice.
That's also like a pretty great indictment of how little Zack Sabre Jr. mattered as a draw on that too.
I wonder exactly like what the draw was. I mean, Kamatani, but like Fuwa-chan must have been a pretty big draw for them too. I think they sold out like, oh, they sold like most of the tickets like really really early, and then a few days before the show, I think is when they sold their last tickets.
I wonder if like the tourism aspect of like this particular like last 7 days in Japan helped.
I think you're right about that. There was a lot of white dudes in the crowd. That's the one thing I noticed when I was watching it.
Tokyo Joshi Pro sold out Korakuen Hall, like the show they did before the Dome.
Yeah.
And Bill McKenna from Mattel was there. Gee, I wonder why. And he noted that like half the audience seemed to be Westerners.
Yeah, it was funny when I was watching Stardom because they like pan the camera over to the left side of the arena, and there's like 5 or 6 white dudes just in the front row itself, and but I've also got to wonder, like, it's definitely a tourism thing, but you see like more people, just in Japan in general, like during the year and stuff, you see a lot more non-Japanese fans in the crowd, but tourism was definitely a thing. It's Wrestle Kingdom season, so you've got people coming over from everywhere to be part of these shows.
And it's a good thing that everybody got like, I mean, Big Japan didn't seem to get much of an attendance bump. They drew like less than 800 people at Korakuen Hall, but like a lot of the other companies seem to do a little bit better than they normally would have, like over the last few days.
Yeah,
and that's good to see.
It's becoming, in a way, sort of like WrestleMania week, right? Where you've got
It's
like,
cheaper at this point.
yeah, definitely, and it helps the other promotions in the area. So yeah, it's only a good thing.
Like your plane ticket to Japan at this point is probably not much more than a 2-night pass for fucking Mania.
Yeah, the Mania tickets are just fucking ridiculous. I can't imagine ever going back to. I mean, I wouldn't want to go anyway, but like with the prices the way they are, it's like no.
Like the floor seats for this show were a couple $100, like just doing the currency conversion off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's it's definitely a better value.
Yeah, and like I was talking with my friend Sheaf when we were, going over the plan to go to Chicago for the G1 opener. He was like, "Oh, I wonder what tickets are going to be like," and I was like, "Probably pretty fucking affordable relative to the other options."
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're not going to WWE, it seems you can afford any wrestling show, right?
Yeah, I mean, for all the, I know people complained when AEW started running the smaller venues that there was like a little uptick in like the ticket prices. You're still getting a full wrestling event for
Yeah,
whatever you're paying. It's not like, and you know what? I can illustrate it because remember in 2024, within 2 months, I went to the Nutter Center in Dayton for Raw and Collision, and we basically sat in the exact same spot for both shows, and Collision cost like 2/3 of what Raw cost to go to, and we got 2/3 more wrestling. It's all about the value.
exactly. And if you go to WrestleMania, you're going to be watching video packages and advertisements for most of the damn thing anyway.
Yeah, I don't need to go somewhere where I'm going to see a fucking Riyadh season fucking music video.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. There's a lot of action figure news.
Yeah, did you see that Mitch did a stream last night?
No, I didn't. He still has me blocked.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he showed off the Raven Regium figure again, and like he had the retros like the Brooklyn Brawler and Sal Sincere, and God, when he signs someone, he really does everything they do, doesn't he? Like he signs like Charles Wright, and it's like I'm gonna do Papa Shango, and I'm gonna do the Godfather. He hasn't done Kama Mustafa. He did this. Did he do the Supreme Fighting Machine version? Actually, I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure he at least showed a prototype for it.
Right. He just hasn't done like the Nation one at this point. But like he signed Bastion Booger, and then he's doing like Friar Ferguson, and he signed Balls Mahoney, so he's doing ex Santa Claus, and multiple versions of Slaughter, multiple versions of Jake. I appreciate that actually, because I think it's kind of cool that if you're going to sign a wrestler, you get like the most out of it. Obviously, with some people, like the gimmicks that they had maybe aren't the most interesting, like Friar Ferguson, for example. But at least you're doing like different stages of that wrestler's career, which I think is a cool thing.
Where's Makin Singh and Norman the Lunatic?
You know what? I could see him getting to Norman at some point because he'd look at the bear accessory and he'd be like, "Oh, I have to do that."
Yeah, probably. Speaking of retros, KWK announced Hayabusa this morning.
Yep.
And I have little doubt that's going to look significantly better than the fucking shitty ass Shell of Toys one from like 4 years ago.
It's interesting because the way you put it is that they would be the representative for action figures in general for Hayabusa. So like, is he willing to go to other companies? Because like to me, like a Hayabusa zombie figure is like a must, right?
Yeah, but he's also he doesn't get along with Zombie. Those two don't necessarily like each other. So
what about Masked Republic?
You know what? I could see it.
Yeah,
I could see it. Then we have some Masked Republic stuff to talk about in a minute too.
Mm-hmm.
I messaged the sculptor on the line and I was like, I hope that he gets an O-ring figure in addition to the retro.
Yeah, that'd be very cool.
Because O-ring Hayabusa, especially if those are in scale with the old Karajos, would look crazy next to Tiger Mask and Liger.
Yeah,
it would be so cool to have that. And I'm not even the biggest Hayabusa fan, but like makes for great action figures, very memorable look, did a lot of really cool shit. I'll buy it. And speaking of Hayabusa, or rather FMW, in a weird way, I saw the Epic Toys Q&A where they were like, "Oh, we would make Misawa in a heartbeat if we thought there was a market for him." And I said it to you. You're not going to convince me the market for Atsushi Onita is greater than Mitsuharu Misawa. Or like, I love Ronnie Garvin, but like, come on. No, there's not more people willing to buy Ronnie fucking Garvin than there are to buy Mitsuharu Misawa. I do think though, Misawa as a Hasbro style figure probably doesn't have as big of an audience as Misawa as a 6-inch collectible figure, like a modern style figure.
I think that's true.
But the collector bases are different size anyway.
I think they're undervaluing, the amount of people that grew up with Japanese wrestling or, in general, really. So yeah, I definitely think there's a market for Misawa. As you said,
Barry Horowitz was the other guy I said to you. Like, oh yeah, way more people are willing to buy a Barry Horowitz than a fucking Misawa, especially when KWK already did every Barry Horowitz look you could possibly want.
Yeah.
And God help you if you want them. Oh, go on. I remember Barry Horowitz and
I'm just
to the KWK thing.
I'm just saying, like, I'm agreeing, just like with the names that are out there, like. I definitely think there's market for, Misawa, Kobashi, Akiyama. If you could get like a retro line of all those guys in like the classic All Japan outfits, and then you've got Vader.
I think people would go nuts. Yeah,
cool as hell.
We don't have an ETA on when we're going to see that Vader.
That's right.
That was the other thing I took away from the Q&A. But also, you don't think there's a market for Misawa, but the version of Dr. Death you do is not a version of him from the US. It's very clearly, it's Red Trunks 1993 Dr. Death.
Yeah. God, those figures would look good in a Hasbro ring, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
God damn it, now I really want them.
Yeah. Boss Fight Studio was doing an advent calendar of reveals for the next premium collector series. And the first one was Solar, which I knew immediately. And I knew the second one immediately too. Because it's Ultimo Dragon and the like black and gold attire from WCW.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna have to get that Ultimo. Like I really like the Fanaticos one that they did, but premium collection, like those boss fight figures are so underrated. Those premium collection figures are amazing in hand. And like you're doing basically like 97 before the elbow injury, Ultimo Dragon. That fills a lot of gaps in collections. If you collect 90s Japanese wrestlers, if you collect 90s like WCW guys, you just collect, cool looking action figures in general. I said it's you. They could do a whole wave of Ultimo, like just repaint him like 5 different ways, get the most out of your molds, then people would buy all of them because it's Ultimo.
Yeah. The last one they released, Vampiro, didn't they have like some issues with that?
There were issues with that wave in the MLW wave, but I also remember KFG saying, which shout outs, I haven't been on social media in a long time, so hopefully you still listen. I remember KFG saying that they didn't have any issues with the ones they got. So
do we know like is Ultimo gonna come off like his cape? Are they gonna?
the cape's in the background. You can see it.
Oh, okay. I didn't see I only saw like the picture of his arm.
Yeah, there's like red in the background. That's the cape.
Ah, gotcha. Do you think they'll come
I'm
with
pretty
any
sure.
like belts at all? Like maybe unlicensed, something that maybe resembles some of the belts he had.
It's possible.
Yeah.
I don't expect it, but it's possible. I'm still mad that I canceled my pre-order for the wave with that Vampiro and I missed out on getting the fucking Wrestling Society X belt.
Yeah, I really wanted that Vampiro, and I kept looking for it to be affordable somewhere, and it just never seemed to.
And then they made that Muda to go along with them in the Monday Night War line.
Yeah, and the only mood I've been able to get is the red one, unfortunately.
Yeah, but they redid the Monday Night War one for ringside.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna try to grab that eventually. Speaking of ringside, on the way home from work Friday, I get sent a screenshot of the item page on Ringside's website for a Hiroshi Tanahashi figure based on Forbidden Door 2023 in the Jazzwares AEW line, which is a line that there is a tremendous amount of uncertainty around, and we don't know how many figures we're getting this year. And if you want an example of how cooked this line might be, Tanahashi pre-orders solicited in January, figure ships in September.
Jeez.
The Cardona and Jericho 2-pack, I didn't even realize this until yesterday. It never went up for pre-order. That was also solicited in December, or was going to be for a September release. So, like, clearly they're expecting to have everything out by, like, October.
Yeah.
Do with that what you will. Magic Olmas shared the Tanahashi reveal, and everything I know about that guy, based on all my conversations, he would not have shared that figure if he didn't have a hand in designing it.
It's a shame that that's gonna be a one-off because talking about like the audience for like Japanese wrestlers and classic legends and stuff like a New Japan line. Like I'm pretty sure people would buy like Inoki, and I'm sure there's more people that they could get from New Japan, like Liga.
Liger's a thing where you've got to do the deal with Dynamic, though.
Do they still have to do that?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
because on the Storm figures, Dynamic was credited.
Gotcha. But also, you could do they could do like classic versions of like Omega and
Yeah, that was like my third thought when I saw those. Was like, oh, they could do like a Wrestle Kingdom 2-pack of Okada and Kenny.
Yeah.
And I also said this to Wrestling Figure News, like, if Magic had any hands on designing Ibushi or Ishii or Shibata, they need to get those out too, because we're never getting those guys otherwise. And also, this is the third figure from New Japan Super 7, New Japan Series 1 that Jazzwares has remade. Not remade in the sense that it's the same attire, but they've done Ospreay, they've done Okada, and now they've done Tanahashi, and they're 3 for 3 on like significant upgrades too.
Right. It's also interesting, like how you had the like the Tanahashi figures that were all announced overall. I mean, you had the Junk Shop Dog and you had the Big Rubber Guys. It's like they can get these deals put together with New Japan, but it's got to be like a special situation, like his retirement, which kind of sucks,
Yeah, like Magic Olmos left a year and a half ago. So this figure, if he was the one that developed it, this figure's basically just been sitting waiting for approval for 2 years.
Yeah.
Like,
Crazy.
yeah, like could we not have gotten this off the ground earlier? Could we have, like, there's all that stuff that was shown at Comic-Con, and there's like a high degree of likelihood we're not getting the majority of it now.
Mm.
And there's been all the chatter on Wrestling Figs. A friend of mine that's in the know has been like, we're going to get crumbs this year. I would be very shocked. I would be very shocked if they show anything at Toy Fair in a few weeks. I would be very shocked if they have any presence at all at Comic Con for AEW. And it's crazy because the report that they weren't renewing the deal or that the deal was done came out, what, 5 weeks after Comic Con when they showed off like 40 new figures in render form?
Yeah.
And Daniel from Jazzwares did that interview with Wrestling Figure News talking about, like, we're going to start, pushing out more figures, like Supreme figures to ringside and stuff. And, like, well, doesn't look like that's happening now.
What do you think, like, the future is for AEW figures? Do you think there's going to still be, like, a retail market for them, or do you think they should go with maybe even
Direct to
ringside?
consumer.
Yeah.
Well, ringside's got the TNA license.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, completely forgot about that.
So Playmates announced they weren't renewing the TMNT license. And I know people have a lot of feelings about Playmates and the figures they make. If I was AEW, I would be like, hey, you know what costs a fraction of what you were just paying for the turtles? Us.
Yeah.
You did wrestling figures almost 30 years ago. Granted, they didn't do proper figures. It was like the stretch wrestlers, the headliners, and the mini rings, and like the statues. But like Playmates would be cool. Obviously, I'll beat the drum of saying Spin Master would probably be objectively the best option because Hasbro is not going to touch wrestling unless they get number one.
Yeah, of course.
That's just how it is. They like Dan Yoon really wants to make WWE figures. That's one of the Hasbro Marvel Legends designers. I mean, they have the Big Rubber Guys deal, but with Matt Cardona going back to WWE, that feels like a little bit of a conflict of interest, although I don't think it's going to actually amount to anything. In
You mean the figure deal or him returning to WWE?
him going to WWE because you also own a company that has an agreement with the competition.
Yeah, I
But I
just meant like
also like
his career. Is that going to amount to anything when he goes back to WWE?
I don't know. I mean, like he was making enough money on the indies and through the figure company to build a big goddamn house in Florida. So I can't imagine he went back to the Fed because they offered him a boatload of money. I think he went back because he really loves those three letters.
Yeah, and he's going to get more work for Rick Michaels, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah. I was contemplating grabbing that Tanahashi Big Rubber guy, and then I saw that, and I was like, no,
Yeah, that's
not
gross.
supporting that. Yeah, for those that don't know, you can Google former developmental wrestler Rick Michaels and find out what he did. And it was bad enough that WWE released him. But it's really weird because like if he was there now, he would just be in the Paul Heyman stable.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, strange. There was another piece of figure news, and I cannot fucking remember what it was now. I gotta go check the Major Pod Instagram now, ironically enough.
I'm thinking what we've missed.
Big Rubber Guys. Speaking of, they're doing Tito Santana and Hillbilly Jim.
Mm-hmm.
And they did a 1 of 1,000 King Haku that sold out like immediately. I might have had interest in buying Tito, but I don't want to. If like $1 of my purchase goes to someone that was doing inappropriate stuff with minors, if $1 of my purchase goes towards supporting that person, I don't. No, I don't want any part of that. Oh, figure collections. They announced the remainder of their Series 1 lineup for the Power Pack wrestlers, the Kenner style figures. We're getting Kona, Brian Adams, clearly based on WrestleMania 9. We're getting referee Mike Chioda, Danhausen, and Matt Cardona. I will buy the crush.
Who who was it that showed off Scorpio and Bagwell recently?
Oh, that was also figure collections in their the Wrestle Something Wrestlers.
Oh, was it Scorpio? Or was it? It was Stars and
That was
Stripes
Patriot
actually,
and
right?
Bagwell. Yeah, it was
Right, right,
Patriot and
right, right.
Bagwell.
Yeah,
And they
that's
showed
cool.
off a prototype of Gilbert. Apparently, that wave that includes Gilbert and Saturn is going to be solicited for pre-orders or in stock orders soon. Um, those Power Pack wrestlers, that Andre is amazing. It's like one of the
Yeah,
best Andre figures ever made. It's so perfectly spot on. I guess they have a lot of plans for that line. I'm really interested to see where this goes. They have a lot of people signed to make for cool Kenner style figures. The Macho Man's really good too. It's just not as like eye catching as the Andre in terms of like, oh, these are like that Andre head sculpt is the most spot on Andre head sculpt I think I've ever seen.
yeah, it's really
He
good.
might even be better than the zombie ones. Yeah. Um, did Epic show something? Oh, there was like they showed a teaser of like Ronnie Garvin from the back.
Mm.
They also posted a teaser an hour ago of a waving Japanese flag, and it says coming 2026 to Epic Toys.
Oh,
I
um,
don't know.
they showed off uh Killer Bees with like the jackets, right?
Oh, those are the ones on like the Silver Vision packaging. Yeah,
Yeah. Let me see this. Where's this with the Japanese flag? Is that in the story?
it's it's their latest story.
Who could it be? Could be anyone.
Did they have to go through KWK to get Hayabusa so they could do one that doesn't look like shit?
It's I'm trying to think of like a fake Japanese wrestler now. Kato's already being done. Can't think of
Hmm.
anyone.
I mean, if they didn't think Misawa had a big enough audience, who are you going to make from Japan?
It's a good point. Why would you do Onita and then think Misawa isn't a big enough audience?
I
Like, where are you getting that information from? Just
I genuinely do not know.
is it simply because Onita had like a Dark Side of the Ring episode? Is that it?
Probably.
I yeah, I don't really understand that.
Oh, also, I don't know if we covered this previously, but the first wave of Mattel DC figures is going to be Batman, Robin, Joker, Flash. They might start with budget-friendly figures and potentially expand to elite and premium versions later. I think if they do more pared down basic style DC figures and put those on the same shelves that have Marvel Legends figures, this line is going to die a horrible death. I think
Yeah,
you need to have at least Mattel WWE Elite level articulation, or
I mean,
you're
these days that's almost just the standard, right? That's kind of what you need. That's what people expect. So, I mean, we'll see what these figures look like. I don't have any sort of like expectations or anything. I'm just curious to see what happens with them.
well, Toy Fair's in 5 weeks. We're gonna see.
Yep.
I
Yeah, it should be an interesting time.
I do wonder what they're gonna do for like the cape on Batman because Todd was putting out wired capes at $25. I don't see any excuse why Mattel, which is a much bigger company, can't do the same thing. I mean, I understand why they won't because it costs a little bit more to produce them, but like, you know,
I wonder what like did they talk about like doing Batman but it's like different outfits or just like one of each figure. You know what I mean?
it's supposed to be evergreen looks for Batman, Robin, Joker, and
Hmm.
so like basically close your eyes and think of those characters, and that's pretty much the version you're gonna get. I'm assuming
I'm
like purple shirt, like
yeah.
Joker.
My mind
Or
always goes
purple suit Joker.
to more like a, like more of like an Arkham Asylum sort of style for Batman, but we'll see.
I mean, the beats of that costume are still the same as like what you would think of with like the regular Batman costume.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see. Wave 1, I guess, is due out in July. Wave 2 is due out in September. There's nothing on what Wave 2 is going to be.
Yeah, people are going to be arguing whether that figure should have trunks or no trunks because it's what they're obsessed about these days.
I don't like that Spin Master's like 4-inch line is dying unless Mattel is going to invest in making like an actual 4-inch line. Yeah. And if they're going to do that for DC, they should probably do it for fucking WWE.
Yeah, why not?
Just throwing that out. I mean, a lot of parts, cross pollination you could do.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine they would actually, for a line that small, I can't imagine they'd actually sculpt the Superman S or the bat symbol onto the characters. They just paint that shit on.
Yeah.
So you can totally reuse that upper body for fucking Hulk Hogan or John Cena or whoever the fuck.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I've not been keeping up. I know we're about to enter 2K news season. Has there been any fucking significant? This is one of the benefits of not being on Twitter. I don't have to see the 2K rumors.
There is a Twitter account called WWE 2K Leaks. They posted the full DLC for 2K25 on March 4th, 2025. I can't remember if the DLC was actually announced then, right? I don't think they. Oh well, it says DLC drops tomorrow. That was the 4th. Oh, they posted on the same day when 2K said the DLC will drop tomorrow. They posted the full roster on that day. So I guess they posted it. They did get it all right. They've posted gifs of Mr. Iguana, Jacqueline, and Tori Wilson, and that's it so far. So the Diva stands will be going out of their mind this year, I guess.
Well, you know what I'll say is I'm glad Jacqueline has a merch deal where they can make some shit with her. Like, super underrated, pretty historically significant. Also, just goddamn bad as hell. I'll say it.
Yeah, it's more Tori, the amount of people that you see in the comments and shit, like, where's Tori Wilson?
Yeah, I don't get it. Because that happens every year when it's like a Q&A about like action figures. Like, she wasn't okay, all things being equal, incredibly like attractive, conventionally attractive woman. As far as a wrestler goes, dog shit.
Like, what do you even do for DLC? Like, you're gonna have someone mocap like, I need you to copy Tori Wilson's X Factor. Like, what? There's already ones in the game. You can just use that. Like, it seems like a waste. Well, then again, if she's on like the default roster, I guess she's part of the package, so you're not paying extra for her. But I don't know. I think of like what this game could include, and I'm not very interested in it because, like, even with 2K25, I don't play any of the default roster, and it's like, what are the legends going to look like at this point? That's what it boils down to. Like, what are the classic arenas going to be like? I don't know.
At this point, I just keep praying for a new Fire Pro. I'm not buying the WWE games. I do not care.
Yeah, I don't know about Fire Pro. I mean, it'd be nice, but
I really hoped like this week Matsumoto was going to be like, by the way, starting from January 4th, Tanahashi retirement DLC. And then that didn't happen.
Yeah, that would be very nice, but I don't know. It's funny because that whole conversation we had with Gakdo, and it's sort of depressing when you consider the state of the wrestling games in the way they are now, and then yeah,
not for nothing.
Yeah,
ukes are free.
Well,
they're not doing anything.
They might run back to wrestling games after Double Dragon. they might.
Yeah, apparently
They
that
might
did not
do.
sell great.
I heard it wasn't. It didn't play great either. So
What I had read on, I think it might have been Reset Era, was like it's a perfectly fine, and this was the comparison I made. It is a perfectly fine like 2010 Xbox Live like beat 'em up, and I was like, yeah, I took one look at that game. That's what I thought. Like, yeah, this looks like a game I would have probably paid like $10 for like 15 years ago.
if you were gonna
But yeah,
like play a more modernized version of like Double Dragon, wouldn't you just play Neon?
yeah, there's another Double Dragon out too, right? It's
Probably.
like a road white or whatever the fuck they call that genre.
I don't know.
But yeah, I don't think Ukes has anything actively in development. So I mean, you can say whatever you want about AEW Fight Forever. Ukes being Ukes not being strangled by Nick Sobick in AEW games, they would probably at the very least drop a pretty okay game. And a pretty okay game still beats whatever the fuck 2K is churning out. And that's been
Yeah,
my thing for like 2 years now with Fight Forever. 2.5 years, almost three. Like, if Fight Forever's content deficient, obviously, but if I'm going to load up a wrestling game and play a fucking match, and you give me the option between anything 2K's done or that game, I'm playing that game.
I I want them to like at this point, whatever they were gonna do before AEW, because they had talked about a wrestling game, like blow all your money on that, because that would be like Yuke's fully uncensored, right? So it'd be very interesting to see.
Tanahashi said in an interview like years ago when he first became New Japan president, he'd
Yeah,
like to work with Ukes again. And I would hate, and I don't think this would ever happen, but I would hate if like AEW were like, wait, you can't work with them. We had a bad experience. I don't think that would happen, but I would hate if it did.
yeah. I
Uh,
think well, New Japan's got obviously got history with Yuke, so I feel like also being a Japanese company, there's a bigger connection, and they'd have a better idea of what they're going to work with, other than whatever AEW could say to them, right?
yeah, and also they certainly do have history with Ukes, huh? God
Yeah,
damn.
right. Yeah,
I was thinking like, oh yeah, Tokan. Oh wait, no, Ukes owned that at one point.
they sure did.
Yeah, that's a you talk about Enochiism all you want, but those Ukes years were not great. not great.
That's wild when you think about it. Like they went from making, you know, the New Japan games, starting from the PlayStation, and then eventually owned the company. It's crazy.
And they put out two New Japan games
Yeah.
while owning them.
Mm-hmm.
And like Wrestle Kingdom obviously has its flaws. I still have a lot of fondness for those games for what they meant to me as a teenager. I'm also that said I'm not exactly rushing to my Steam Deck once we're done today to play either of them.
No,
Might
it's
be
a shame.
fire for a world.
It's a shame I didn't like them that much, because like that Legends roster and the second one is really really cool.
Dude,
Um,
it's so good. Like obviously Dick Murdoch as a person, not great. Having a licensed version of him in a wrestling game is
Crazy.
fucking nuts. Yeah. Tiger Jeet Singh? How the fuck much did that cost? That's not cheap.
Yeah, I was watching Kim Justice did a video on wrestling arcade games, and it hit me like, we talk about like legends and wrestling games, obviously Wrestle Kingdom, and like legends and wrestling stuff like that. Giant Graham was really like ahead of the time with that, because you look at their
Oh yeah.
legends wrestlers, like holy shit, that's crazy as shit.
I was referencing it to somebody yesterday. I found out who the Destroyer and Don Leo Jonathan were because they beat the fuck out of me in Giant Graham.
Yeah,
And then, eventually I saw footage of both of them. I love the Destroyer. He fucking ruled. I'm not a huge fan of the Kim Justice account on YouTube, though, because there was a video that mentioned Enochiism and Brock Lesnar in the same sentence. And I don't know what you think Enochiism is, but bringing in the most recent top WWE guy is not it. The way
yeah,
people define Enochiism is shoot fighters came in, beat up pro wrestlers. That wasn't the Brock thing. New Japan wanted to break into the U.S. market. stop me if you've heard this one before. And they thought fucking putting the belt on Brock would help them get US pay-per-view clearance.
Mm-hmm.
They also just needed something to fucking like kind of, cattle prod the dead company. And, saying, hey, that guy that was just WWE champion that fucking beat The Rock and shit, we got him. It wasn't a bad idea. But it was also like, he didn't necessarily like the travel. He also he basically says it in his book. Like, they didn't treat him the way he thought, like, he expected to be treated. They also owed him a fuck ton of money. And that's a big part of why he said, I'm not getting on the plane to come wrestle fucking Tanahashi, was that they owed him, like, it was 5 figures. I don't remember how much, but they owed him a bunch of fucking money. So I never actually watched the video, but when you say Inokiism as a catch-all term for Inoki was still involved with the company and this thing was bad, it immediately destroys any credibility anything you would ever say kind of has with me. But I do love Giant Graham. Those games are amazing. And I wish people took for these games, like the indie devs. Play Giant Graham 2000 for like a couple of hours. There's a lot of shit in that game. The side grapple? How is PWX the only game that took the side grapple?
Yeah, I don't know. Also, in regards to that video, like, you can still watch those videos and get, like, a history of wrestling games. It's different when it comes to, like, actual wrestling because there's discourse and perspective.
Right.
When it comes to, as false as it may be, when it comes to, like, the Lesnar situation. But, like, if you're just doing, like, a video on, like, the history of arcade wrestling games and you're just providing information on that, I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Also, one of our listeners, Matt, asked us recently if we would take a look at Bunriki 1, which is like a fighting game from 1999, I think it was, and Kim Justice covered that game in that video. So I think maybe that's where that way he saw that. I did play that a little bit this week. I couldn't get it to work, and I always have this problem with MAME, and it was driving me up the fucking wall. And I just went on archive.org, and there was a recent link. It was like MAME BIOS, and there's like thousands of BIOS files. And I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to add all these to the BIOS folder. And Boone Ricky worked on my Steam Deck after that, and I was like, hell yeah. So I played it a little bit. I would like to get a deeper dive into it and read some more about it before we do like a review. So maybe that's something we could do next week.
I'm not gonna be around next week to record. It has to be 2 weeks, but yeah, I'm interested. I just gotta get it to where I can run it, and I mean, if it runs on your deck, it'll run on mine. It's just a matter of getting what I need.
Oh yeah, if you look on archive and you just put in like MAME BIOS, there's like and like date added. There's like one that's just like a ton, and I was just like, I probably only needed like a certain one, but I was like, screw it, I'm gonna add all of these so I don't have a problem again. So yeah, it worked straight away, and then I tried to run Rambo 3 and that wouldn't work, and I was like, god damn it. But I was playing that in the Punisher, which is a fantastic game as well.
Oh yeah, Punisher's a great game. I wanted to buy that Marvel vs. Capcom collection specifically for that. Like, what a game!
I got
great action figures based on it too.
Yes, I got them for Christmas, and they're so good.
I badly want that set just because that's like in my brain that's like the definitive Punisher.
Yeah.
And everything I've seen, like all the videos of it, that figure looks absolutely tremendous.
I really want the Captain America and Venom as well. I think that looks really good. I
really love the Cap in that 2-pack. The Venom's good too. I have the Wolverine and Silver Samurai and the Juggernaut bitch from the Game Reverse line. And I actually, I think I sent you the picture. Immediately, I basically put Wolverine in the pose that he's on the X-Men versus Street Fighter Japanese poster. And he's still in that figure's held that pose. He's been crouched down like that for like a month now. It hasn't moved at all.
I've got to ask you, did you happen to see the leaked X-Men teaser for Doomsday?
No, it got taken down from the link that I got sent before I saw it, but I saw I heard the description of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's very short, and people are like going from like, oh, we shouldn't have doubted the Russos and like losing their shit, and I'm just like, dudes, you haven't really seen anything. Like they saw like Cyclops shooting his beam up into the sky and like surrounded by fire, and there's like a sentinel leg in the background, and they're like, oh my god, and I'm like, but it's just like 1 second of footage. Like, can we calm down? Um, I mean,
I can't
he's
imagine getting excited for anything Marvel Studios that uses the X-Men that isn't like 97.
it's so funny too because I saw people brought up this point too. Like he's in the classic suit. He doesn't have
But
the
he doesn't
trunks.
have the underwear. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have had him in trunks because I think the people that complain about the trunks being on the outside is like it's a fucking comic book, you know. Like I don't care if you don't find it fashionable. I think they can still work. I worked with Superman, but anyway, I think again I saw some people see this too. Like you know, in a few years or whatever, you're going to be introducing new characters as the X-Men, and I don't feel like it does a favor to them when you're introducing these old actors in their classic costumes because it's just going to make people, you know, yearn for them more when they don't come back. You know what I mean?
And it's
Um,
not even the classic costumes. If you were a fan of the Fox movies, it's not even the costumes you remember them in.
no,
It's the
no,
fucking
it's
90s Jim Lee comic costume just with no underwear.
yeah, exactly. And you know, they
He's
did
fucking
something similar
freeballing it.
with Wolverine. I mean, it's not exactly, but it's you know the yellow suit. It's people always wanted that. Um, I don't know. It's just then Magneto's got like long hair now. Um, Xavier
Well,
was
he
wearing
does in the cartoon because it's based
yeah,
on the Jim Lee version of him.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I just mentioned that. It's kind of a more of a more traditional Magneto look. It looked like Xavier was wearing like a blue jumpsuit or something with the red and black X logo on it. Um, I'm trying to think. It was like I said, it was like really short, and that's really all you see in it. I heard that somebody said that they used the X-Men '97 theme in it. I don't think so, but also you couldn't really get an idea of the audio anyway. Uh, I don't know. I don't know what to think of it. Like I'm sure I'm gonna see it, but it really feels like when WWE would bring in Goldberg, you know, for the first time in years. Uh probably the same way it's going to feel when they bring in Jericho. You know, it's like we're desperate. We need something. We'll bring back our old stars to pop a rating. That's what it feels like, and I can't get that out of my mind. Especially when you know DC starting fresh, and you've got like a brand new Superman. You've got Supergirl and all these new actors coming in. The guy that they cast for Brainiac, like a German actor that I've never heard from before, and you know it's cool to see that. It's cool to see new actors coming in, and you know I'm sure they'll build up their name from there. But just bringing in like these older actors, it's just like, also this is going to be like probably like the fourth time Xavier has died on screen, and it's like when is enough? You know?
it's also, I think, Patrick Stewart's last role.
Oh, is it?
That's what I read.
Uh, that's a shame.
Yeah, but he's pretty old. I mean, he was old like 25 years ago when they,
He's
or I guess
always looked
26
old.
years ago now when they did the. Yeah, he has. He looked old even on TNG.
I think did he? I think it was a picture of him with hair, and it freaked me out.
I am curious if they're waiting for like a second season of X Men '97 to do a Blu-ray set because I remember that one physical media account that's run by a fucking weirdo on Twitter saying like, "Oh, it's coming to Blu-ray and 4K," and then it hasn't as of yet. I mean, I have a bootleg of it, so
I, I, I to be honest, at this point, I don't think they care enough about it to release it on Blu-ray.
I mean, they care enough to release all the other Disney Plus shows, just not the animated ones, which is wild because you have the Clone Wars collectors who are like, "Can I get the last fucking season, please?"
Did
But
they release
everything else,
Ironheart on Blu-ray?
I don't think they have yet. No.
Yeah, because they didn't seem interested in that show at all. So, I mean, if they release that, then there's no really excuse for them to not release animated stuff on Blu-ray as well.
I mean, they pushed out that that fucking Hawkeye show, and I think they did what was the other shithead Disney Plus show I saw they did a Blu-ray release for? And I was just like, okay, but we can't get Clone Wars or X-Men 97. Got it.
Mm.
They're doing a fucking Darth Maul animated series. That's not going to get a fit. You should not have to go to bootleggers for physical releases of stuff by fucking Disney. That is insane. I mean,
Oh
I'll
yeah,
do it because if you want to leave that money on the table, somebody else can pick it up.
yeah, it's wild. Yeah, it's bullshit. I don't know what else to say about it. It's weird decisions all around.
Yeah, I remember when the Bo DeMaio stuff went down, I was a little like, about 97 season 2. And then I saw the teaser that they showed at Comic Con. There's like two different off camera angles of it. One is much better than the other. And like, no, that looks about like what I want. So we'll see. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to it.
he's still being weird on Twitter. Any mention of the X-Men, and he like jumps right in. And
I heard he said something about the Cyclops teaser, and like it was something like to the gist of like taking credit for the perception of Cyclops changing, which
pretty
I mean,
much,
in terms of the people that don't read comic books, like, yes, that's accurate. But there are those of us that have actually, read some of the stuff that these shows and movies are based on. I've known Cyclops was the shit since I was a kid. He's the fucking shit in X-Men the Animated Series.
yeah, that's where I enjoyed Cyclops. So when when I remember watching the movies as a kid, and I was like, isn't Cyclops supposed to be like the leader? Like, how come this is so much about Wolverine? Um, I'm happy that it's happening. Like, apparently he's got a really big role in Doomsday. I mean, that's the rumor, but it could be a 5 minute runtime before he dies. So we'll see. But again, like I said before, it's like a case of like you're gonna give him a big role now just to like debut new actors in a few years from now. It just seems kind of silly.
I guess the thought is like they might kill off the old X-Men and the next crop of them won't be any of the quote unquote established characters.
Yeah, that's the way I would go for it, right? I, I mean, they should have done that already. You know, I mean, I know those issues with the X-Men license and stuff, but
It's
like,
time to bring back the cast of New Mutants.
God, like, Jesus Christ.
I watched like 12 minutes of that movie with my friend Kara the night the X-Men 97 episode, the premiere, went up. And I was like, yeah, I haven't read a lot of New Mutants, but this doesn't. And I mean, New Mutants was the book where they did like the really like fucked up shit. Like
Yeah,
I've read a little bit of it, and it's all good shit, but it's like you think like some dark stuff happens in like the X-Men, and then you have all the stuff with like Warlock and fucking Cypher, and it's like, yeah, Warlock's trying to like reanimate his dead buddy's body. It's just goddamn. But yeah, my Marvel Studios interest basically solely lies in the animated stuff. I'll watch Daredevil Born Again season 2 because I like the Netflix series. I think Born
yeah.
Again season 1's a bit of a disjointed mess. Just having like a year between when the show ended and sitting here right now. There's the stuff about it I liked. A lot of stuff I just kind of thought like, oh, Kevin Feige really just decided I'm gonna get my fucking hands in everything now, huh? But yeah, I'll watch X-Men 97 season 2. I read the thing from Brad Winterbaum last year that they're gonna have like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and X-Men 97 seasons in rotation yearly for the foreseeable future, which they should.
Mm.
They fucking should. Because like it was 2 years ago, but you remember the enthusiasm around X-Men 97 season 1. Like
Oh yeah.
people thought it was just gonna be like pure nostalgia, and then like what is it, like 2-3 episodes in, it's like, no, they're doing their own thing, and then they do the fucking shit where they kill Gambit, and it's like, oh no, this was not. We're gonna give you 10 episodes of nostalgia. It's time to grow up, kiddos. We're fucking going there. And you know what? I need to find that bootleg 4K set I have of that and put that fucking thing in my PS5 and watch that show again. What a goddamn show!
What if Gambit in that show is the same as in the MCU?
I would strongly hope that we just keep the animated stuff divorced from the live action stuff.
Because he ends up in the void, right? That was the whole thing with Deadpool and Wolverine. I think. I don't know. I don't remember.
If Gambit shows up as Death and goes, I'm about to make a name for myself here, I think I'll just shut the show off at that point.
I'm not gonna lie. I like that. I thought it was funny. I thought it was fun that. Especially when you consider the only other time Gambit's been on screen was in X-Men Wolverine Origins. I was like, I like this.
I mean, I did that shit. I said that shit out loud at work so much in the summer of 2024. God, that movie came out a year and a half ago.
That's gonna be funny too. Is like seeing his Gambit on screen of like Professor X and Cyclops and shit. I assume that's gonna happen.
He can't be the fucking he can't talk the way he did the fucking Deadpool.
We'll see.
No, they can't do it. That's Ryan Reynolds going to hell.
I imagine they would tone it down if he's gonna do more like serious scenes and stuff.
I would hope, but you never know. I mean, it's Kevin Feige's MCU. Who fucking knows? Oh, I gotta say this. I watched a video of somebody walking through one of the pop-up Toys R Us stores that are here in the US. Mm-hmm. That shit was depressing. One, the guy focused mainly on like the Jeffrey the Giraffe merchandise in there to the point that like my mom was in the living room and was like, is he gonna look at anything other than the damn giraffe? And I was like, fuck, mom, I hope. And he gets over to the section that I would have been interested in, where they have like, some of the McFarlane Marvel statues and a couple of WWE elites. And then he talks about how much they are, and the elites were basically the same price as an Ultimate, like regular retail. And the McFarlane statues, like the 1/6 scale Spider-Man from McFarlane Spider-Man #1, it was like $75, and I was just like, you know what? This doesn't look like a Toys R Us. I agree with the guy that it kind of looked like a KB Toys on the inside. And specifically, and nobody listening to the show is going to get this, it looked more like the first KB that I went to that was over by the Cracker Barrel in Lima, over by like I-75, and not the one that was in the Lima Mall for years before it closed down. Because like the KBs that were in like a shopping mall were more compact. You couldn't have everything like super spread out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This store had everything kind of like spaced, like it was an actual, like its own dedicated section. But like, if I would have walked in there, the vibe would have been cool for about 4 seconds until I saw how much shit cost, and I would have like been heartbroken. And I hate these fucking corporate hedge funds. They killed KB, and then they killed Toys R Us. And they killed fucking Kmart too. They killed Sears. Like, I saw somebody share something like the world we grew up in no longer exists, and it's just closed like Blockbuster and Kmart and fucking all these other stores. And you don't really think about it like this, but we really lost a lot of shit in the last like 20 years.
Yeah. Like, definitely. It's pretty crazy if you actually take some time to think about all the stores and stuff that was around and were around back in the day that no longer exists. It's a pretty comprehensive list.
Yeah, like, I mean, even 15 years ago, I could still go to the town that I work in, and there was a fucking Kmart.
Yeah.
I could go to Lima, and they still had Toys R Us.
Well, we had Toys R Us until they had Kmart last too. Year.
And y'all's Toys R Us is, from the pictures I've seen of the ones in Canada, they never changed from the way they looked in the 90s. Like the roof and everything was like the exact same.
That Toys R Us, I want to say, was started in the late 90s. I think 99. And they, other than like changing the shelves and stuff, they never changed anything much about the store until until its closing. It was always pretty much the same.
Yeah, the Lima one, unfortunately, they changed a great deal about. Did you see the video about, or the movie that came out based on the true story of the guy that like lived above a Toys R Us?
That's
he like escaped prison.
It's a Channing Tatum movie, right?
I don't know who's in it, but I watched the video about him, And
I
I
did.
didn't realize there was a movie coming out. And I opened Paramount Plus like a week ago, and I was like, "Fuck, man, I kind of want to watch this."
I think the Channing Tatum movie I'm thinking of is more like a comedy, but the guy that like was like on the loose. Yeah, I saw a wavy web surf video about that guy.
And like he had like a fucking deal where he would go between that and the Circuit City next door, and he would like when the store was closed, he would fucking go play video games and shit. And I'm like, I want that life, bro.
Yeah.
Like on the lam, fucking chilling at Toys R Us. That dude had it set.
I
God
don't even know how you
damn.
do that. Like, you'd think the cameras would be like instantly catch him, or somebody would catch something, you know?
Yeah, like you'd think they would have noticed like the candy and shit fucking disappearing. And then he went out into the town and had like a fucking life. Like he had a girlfriend and shit.
You want to go? You want to come to back to my place, Toys R Us, where a kid can be a kid?
I just every time I think about Toys R Us, I get really sad. Like the last time I was in there, one, I had to sit and wait for a fucking train to pass. It took 45 minutes. I really had to piss by the time it was over. And I just walked in to grab that Elite Andre the Giant that was like half Amazon exclusive, half Toys R Us exclusive. And
Yeah.
if I would have known that was going to be it, I probably would have walked around and kind of took it in one last time. But you never know.
Oh,
And
Toys R Us wasn't really anything special, to be honest.
it always held magic for me because, like, when the second, like the last waves of the ECW figures came out, I found them there. I found the ECW ring there. It was always the place where mom would take me up there. I've said this much. Mom would take me up there like 3 or 4 times a year. Typically, like tax time, mom would get a bonus around my birthday, and then like right around the holidays, we'd go.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always find shit that I would either not end up finding at all where we lived, or I wouldn't find it until like a month or two later. And I mean, KB held the same magic. I mean, I every time I go to fucking Lima, I still go into Meyer, knowing full fucking well it's not the same store anymore. Like the layout has changed. They finally got rid of the Hasbro King of the Ring sticker from the fucking shelf that it was on for like 15 fucking years after that
I
ring came
think
out.
when Toys R Us was really special to me was when we didn't have one, and we traveled to when we traveled to Bangor, Maine. Because obviously, when you're a kid, you see like commercials and stuff, right? And it's like, why
Yeah.
don't we have one? So we went to Bangor, Maine, and they had like the later figures. They had like Rick Martel and Christ, I can't even remember who was in that lineup, but there was a whole bunch. And I was like, and we didn't. I think Hasbro's were kind of hard to get where I lived at that point. I think they weren't really around anyway. So I was like losing my mind as a little kid, and I got a bunch of them. I think, and I got like, oh, I got Owen Hart for sure. I got Hulk Hogan and the Wrestling Boot Band on cassette, and yeah, that was crazy because you go to somewhere for the first time and you see all this wrestling stuff that you love, and then we got our Toys R Us, and I'm sure at the time I was excited. And you see the Jacqueline figure lasted on shelves for like years on end.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that was at the Lima Toys R Us till like 01, 02. I'm not even
y-
kidding.
yeah, I think it was the same here. It was crazy. It's now it's the Mae Young problem at Walmart.
Yeah, that era of like collector's edition figures, I only ended up finding like The Rock
Yeah,
at our Walmart. I was happy too because that Rock figure was awesome. But like, I really wish I could have found like what were some of the Sherry? I wish I would have found that
yeah,
because
same.
that figure was good. Um, I really hated that they locked people behind those. Like, the only Chris Hero WWE figure was a Target exclusive that immediately was going for like $100 on eBay.
You see that Star Wars Racer for the limited run PS4 version is going for like hundreds on eBay because you can use it as an exploit to hijack or jailbreak a PS5.
I saw an article, but I did not click on it to read it. I was just like, oh, of all the fucking games.
Yeah. I think there's some other games that have been added to that list, but like Racer was the first one, and yeah, the prices on eBay were going for a crazy amount of money. Ridiculous.
It's really funny to see that though.
It is. It's funny,
Like,
but at the same time, it's like you fucks.
yeah, like why is it the physical version only? Can't the digital version do it?
I have no idea. I didn't look into it too much. I just saw like the prices, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
I hate when like used games, like Def Jam Fight for New York sold 1 million copies. Why the fuck is that game $100 used?
I sold a copy of Godzilla for PS4 for like $200 because it goes for that, and it's not even really a good game. It's like tank controls, and I didn't enjoy it too much.
Is it a game where there's like monsters and shit in it that aren't in other games?
Probably, I think it had a pretty deep roster actually.
That's probably actually why,
Yeah.
honestly.
Although if you're looking for like, yeah, if you're looking for like a game experience, I've a better gameplay experience. I haven't played it, but like Giga Bash seems like one that people probably want to pick up these days. That's got Godzilla in it.
There's speaking of SNK games, I still want to play Big Bang Pro Wrestling. It's on the
Yeah, I
Switch. It's $10.
played that a little
Um,
bit.
I I looked up used copies of it on eBay, and buddy, I should have bought that shit in fucking like 2004 when I wanted to.
Yeah,
Because god damn, $180 for just the cartridge was what I saw for one of them.
that was weird. It sounded like you echoed when you said "God damn." It really added to the effect.
I started playing Legend Bowl on Steam Deck, which was it's a football game that's random, but like I enjoyed it, but then I fucking I tried modding it and it didn't work. So I wiped all the mod stuff out. And then like I um I tried starting a franchise mode and it didn't fucking save any of my shit. And now I'm just sitting here like this game was really fun. Like I really enjoyed it, but I can't even bother fucking I can't bother playing the fucking game because I can't start a franchise mode because it won't like save any of my shit because when I go to try to load a franchise, it automatically crashes. And the thing that drives me nuts about it is that game, it was made by a 2K modder, like an NFL 2K modder. So
Hmm.
there's aspects of the NFL 2K gameplay in there. And like, yeah, it's just not like it's not working for me, which sucks because I'd like to, I'd like to play it.
I
Apparently
I
there's a sequel on the way.
I played Sunday Rivals on Steam.
I played a
Um,
little bit of that. I didn't dig it.
yeah, I wasn't that fond of it. We need a
Legend Bowl had a
new.
lot of potential though. Like that shit has like a 96 NFL mod and I just
Oh,
couldn't get it
nice.
to run.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of. I was playing a lot of Arkham Origins, which I still love that game. I've run into like bugs that I didn't have before. I know when we had Gacto on, I talked about it. Like I got to a point where I couldn't proceed, and so a funny thing happened this time. So I had beaten Copperhead, and I started going around the city, and Alfred said that he was looking into something. He'll get back to me or whatever. So I was like, okay, so kind of just wants me to roam around the city for a bit. So I'm roaming around and like doing like these side missions, like the Mad Hatter and stuff. And I notice in the top of the screen it still says like um apprehend the Joker or whatever. I'm like, I already went to the steel mill. Like what? So I went back and I went into this room and like the world disappears and I can like see through everything and I'm just walking and I'm like walking through doors that aren't there. And I'm like, oh okay, this isn't good. So turn it off and I go. I read online that there's a glitch where Copperhead becomes invisible and you just sort of like punch and you hit her, and and that's how you beat her. Because I thought I already did. Because the way it ended, I was like, oh, that's it. So sure enough, I went back into the room, started like punching the air, and apparently punched her, and then it said I had beat her, and I was able to continue on with the game. So that was fun stuff. Um, but I've also started playing Mad Max again, and that game it's repetitive, but holy shit! Like some of the moments you have in that game, like just like cars flying around you and like blowing them up, and seeing bodies explode when there's explosions, and it just that's also like a great game.
Hearing Mad Max reminds me that and I don't know why this does, but like we're never getting another Twisted Metal game.
Which another thing we've talked about, but like the show's been renewed for for a third season. Like there's got to be some sort of audience. Like why not take advantage of that? I don't get it.
I don't know. I don't know what Sony's doing, man. I don't know what anybody's doing.
Nah,
If it were me, if I were Sony, I'd throw a boatload of money at fucking Spike Chunsoft to make a new Fire.
the more you mention it, the more depressed I get.
Yeah, I'm honestly a new Fire Pro is gonna get me pretty close to like Mayhem 2 levels
Oh
of
God,
being depressed.
will you shut up? No,
It's all very unfortunate.
I
Um,
yeah, every few months or so I go back and watch those videos on that YouTube channel. Evan, I can't remember his last name, but
Hanley, I think.
yeah, and it's like, oh fuck.
If only the Fed didn't win when they did.
Yeah,
I mean, in general, but like especially when they did. Like,
God,
oh, the world we would live in now if Mayhem 2 actually came out.
we just had like a really, really solid, good engine that essentially works as a sandbox to do anything you want with a wrestling game. That's
Oh,
basically
we
what
got to
I
talk
wanted.
about this
Oh,
because you mentioned it. Did you see the fake No Mercy decomp that was talked about in the Freem server?
no, but I'll look towards that now that
So,
you've
do you
mentioned
remember
it.
CM from the No Mercy Zone, the guy that would pop up, show a bunch of like teasers of shit, and then just
I
disappear until the next time it was time to do
seem
that?
to remember,
Yeah, the theory was it was him.
let's see. So it was fake?
Yeah, it's in the off-topic channel on Freem's Oh, it's deleted now. The main topic is at least.
Okay. Oh, no, yeah, I'm really okay. This is like an account belonging to a very old school hacker known as CM. But gets pissed over not getting attention. I hear you, dude.
Yeah,
So, what did he do exactly?
he claimed he had a fucking decomp and he was going to release it, or like you needed one of the specific No
Oh
Mercy beta
God,
ROMs for it to work.
I'm reading here.
Yeah.
Don't use this. It corrupted my Windows install HDD. Jesus.
Oh, apparently that was a troll
Oh,
post.
well, that's good.
I just, while we're talking about the Aki games, I have to check Facebook now because it is tradition on this show that at one point or another during during the process, I will attempt to find out if Pro Wrestling X is updated on Facebook. I At this point, I think honestly, Dave's probably thrown in the towel.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's still like almost a year old post, and
I just
I
wish he'd
don't.
say something for the fact of like saying that he's okay. You know.
Yeah, I would like to know that Dave is all right. Actually,
Yeah, if he's like UPW's UPW PWX is dead, I'd just be like, okay, I understand that. You know, I'm not I'm not mad about it or anything anymore. Like, it is what it is.
Oh wow, someone on one of the posts from last year, what would Aki do? Indeed. And then I don't know, but Aki is back thanks to hyper focus games, crying laughing emoji. But I think Aki would dominate Pro Wrestling X and run wild with that laughing emoji. My brother, what? Aki is not back. Please stop it. I'm just saying.
No, I'm not disagreeing.
I'm looking at like the posts and just there's like such little engagement on this for a game that I remember like 10 years ago had like a weirdly high amount of traction. Because I think it ended up being the last one standing of all the indie games because Five Star Wrestling came out and that went over like a fucking fart in church.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for it to be active, right? I mean, it's been over 20 years now.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, look at the PWX Facebook page. It's fucking depressing. This reminds me of my youth, even though I'm just looking at posts from like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, it doesn't like get to me because I'm not like nostalgic for it. I mean, I obviously remember that time, but it's just because it was always whenever you got your hands on the controller, I felt it was always disappointing. So to me, it's just like it is what it is, you know.
Yeah, and I noticed the newest build of PWX doesn't run on Steam Deck, and
Oh,
I couldn't get that prototype build. I couldn't figure out how to make anything else happen. There was like two moves in it. But it was cool to
yeah,
finally get my hands on that after, wondering for years and years and years. And we even brought that up to him, or I might have been the one that brought it up to him on the fucking interview we did with him. And it's just I wax nostalgic about PWX because like there's two distinct eras of that whole thing, and they both remind me of like a weirdly different time. Like the first round with PWX when the whole thing started, I was in like fifth grade. It was summer between fourth and fifth grade, and life was okay, I guess. I mean, I wasn't cognizant to a lot of the bullshit going on around me and in the
yeah.
world at large. And then like I wanted so badly to believe we were going to get something good in the 2010s. And I remember Sonny Bones saying it on Axe Bomber, like the problem with PWX's whole mission is like the WWE games finally got good. And this was like around, I think 13 would have been the most recent game, or 12, one of
Mm.
those two. And you know what? At this point, I'm going to say one of the most cursed things I've ever said in my life. I want EA to fucking decide they went in on the wrestling game market because there might be a chance they still have the source code to Def Jam Vendetta locked up somewhere. If we could just fucking modernize that code and make that shit work, I'd put up with the microtransactions. I'd put up with everything for about 5 minutes. What a wonderful 5 minutes it would be.
Uh, be fun to think of, but they'd never do that.
Remember when Dave told us that the Five Star Wrestling guys they acquired the KOC fucking source code of the
Yeah,
engine or whatever? Yeah, so that's totally. And I think I mentioned this at the time. It's totally because in every one of the videos they had where it was like they had sock accounts fucking praising the game, like it's got the most moves for of any wrestling game ever, and I would just be like King of Coliseum 2.
yeah,
And I don't have the screenshots anymore, but I had like a whole argument with the TMs on Facebook with that account, like oh well, we have all these moves, and I'm like, yeah, King of Coliseum 2 has like fucking potential like 32 fucking grapple moves from the front. That's not counting like special moves. And they tried
mm,
to tell me I was wrong. Like this is me in like 2013 or 14, where that's like the only wrestling game I'm playing at that. Like I'm legitimately not playing. I'm fucking running with my broken modded PS2 from 2005 if I want to play a fucking wrestling game because there was nothing else. And they had like a weird hard on for like, well, if your leg gets damaged, you won't be able to do like moves. And that extended to like German suplexes where like you're not using your legs to like like you could just bridge back. That's like your torso at that point. Like if you want to
Yeah.
have a selling animation at the end, that makes sense. But like, oh, I can't pick you up. Nobody lifts straight up and then does a German unless they're Takayama. But he was also just doing the bridge while he picked people up.
Hmm.
And I got the PS4 version of that game, and it wasn't like the first couple of matches. I was like, I kind of see what they're going for here, but by like match number 5 or 6, I was like, nah, this isn't very fucking good. That was the game, for those that don't remember, with like the parody characters of like Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle.
America,
Yeah, the
America.
fucking the Orton theme was like really
I
funny too.
see inside my head a vision, never the
Why do you know
outcome
the
you've been
words?
wishing for.
Why do you know the fucking words?
Because when I used to watch wrestling on the Woo board, they would always play those videos between like commercials and stuff.
Okay,
I never
that makes
actually played
sense.
the game myself.
I remember I had their like wrestling manager game on my iPod Touch, and that was really cool. I think there was potential with the ideas that they had. It was also pretty clear they were inspired by like SmackDown Here Comes the Pain more so than like anything else. But like I don't know what happened. They had all that DLC with like DDP and Rey Mysterio that never came out.
Yeah.
And like I said, I had fun for a few matches, but then like once you realize it's all like challenge matches and the wording of the challenges you have to do are like so fucking weirdly vague and obtuse, it killed a lot of the fun for the game. And also no online play, although indie games with online play at that point, it was a crapshoot if you were going to get good netcode or not.
They,
And
I mean, dude, they had their own promotion. Like the whole thing was just like
money laundering.
a bad idea in the end.
Yeah, and like if I had to give that game a score, it's like a solid 5 out of 10. Because like I said, there's good animation work with that, like really good animation work with that game in spots, and like it's at least funny for a little bit. Kurt Angle with like the fucking like Pringles mustache, that's a great bit. But like I say all of this, by the way, having not played the game since like 2017. I'm sure if I mean, I have my PS4 in the living room. I could load it up today and play it and see what I still think. But
You think it's still on the
that was,
store?
is it?
No, I'm wondering. I'm going to check.
It's called 5 Star Wrestling Regenesis.
God, that's a terrible name.
Because remember, it originally came out on the PlayStation 3.
That sounds like a WWE pay-per-view.
Oh yeah, it's still on here, or at least
Yeah.
it is because I haven't bought.
I see a listing for it, but I don't want it to sign into my account. And it wants to open the app. Yep, you could buy it for $20. Oh
I
my.
mean, I don't know if it ever goes on sale, but like 20 is not bad if you have fun with it for a couple of, like, listen, I've bought the fucking expensive versions of those 2K games, and like I didn't get as much fun out of those games as I did the few matches I remember playing in 5 Star. And there's like a certain charm to the way the game looks too, because it's very much like PS3 indie game aesthetic.
If I buy it, do you think they'll be like, oh my god, there's still an audience and they'll come back?
I fucking hope. I hope. And their wrestling manager game on iOS was a lot of fun.
I
It
don't think
also
I ever
stopped
played
getting
that.
updated. Like, I mean, it stopped getting updated like right after they announced 5 Star. And again, this is another one of those games from that like 2012 time period where it was like that game gets announced. And Dickey starts doing wrestling games again with like the iOS stuff. PWX Uprising, like we finally started getting on the road to that. That Saturday Night's Kickstarter popped up. What was that, 2014, maybe?
Something like that, probably.
Yeah, like every 10 years, we're just doomed to do the indie wrestling game dance, I
I
guess.
think the one that saddens me, like from the current batch, is Bastante Bueno, because we got our hands on that, and I thought it was really fun. And like the cage matches was maybe one of the better cage matches in the wrestling game. And just like the the 6-sided ring and stuff like that it was fun, and I would have loved to see that expanded on, but we haven't had an update on that in a while. I hope he's still like just like you know working away on it and just isn't ready to release something until he's maybe at like a more complete stage. Maybe he's gotten funding or something, and I don't know. But yeah, I'm sad we haven't heard anything about that for a while.
Yeah, it feels like
Especially because
we've got to.
it was one dude that was learning Unreal, and it's like this is one of the better wrestling game just based on the controls and stuff that I played in a while.
Fucking one dude teaching himself how to code in Unreal and somehow managed to crack the code of making something that kind of vaguely plays like the Aki games.
Funny how it works.
One of
Isn't
those
it?
things where you look at it and it's like, oh, it really isn't that hard if you just have like half a clue, huh?
Yeah. Was that ever
That's
listed on
dismissing
Steam?
the. No, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
But I really enjoyed the time that I had with that game. It feels like we're seeing another boom period come and go with nobody really able to capitalize on wrestling's popularity. And we've talked about it a bunch, like unlicensed games or games that just don't have the WWE license, not having like the biggest audience, but like
Mhm.
there's still an audience, and as long as you're realistic about sales expectations and like the scope of the game, I think there's wrestling gamers that aren't like WWE brained, they will play fucking anything. Like
Yeah, yeah.
they'll give anything a shot if the game, and also word of mouth is still a thing. Because how many people got into Fire Pro World because they saw somebody on Twitter say it was good, or they saw a YouTube video
Mm.
say it was good? Like that game had a way bigger install base on Steam than I ever thought it would have, almost purely based on people being like, hey, there's a new wrestling game. And by the way, if you go look up videos of like the previous games, you can have an idea of what to expect. And then when the game actually came out, there were all the people talking about like the game. And yes, it launched with a ridiculous price point given how little content it had. But the bones of that game are still better than any wrestling game ever made, except maybe King of Coliseum 2.
I get distracted because I'm looking at uh Neckbreaker. Okay, the last update was from September when he posted the like awesome bomb through a table.
Oh my god, I completely fucking blanked on this. I was
What?
going to bring up Virtual Basement and how it doesn't really exist anymore. You know what doesn't really exist anymore? Fucking Powertown. Did you see the thread on Wrestling Figs?
I haven't read it yet, but you talked about it, and I was like, yeah, that's it.
This motherfucker did like, for anybody that wants to like know, go onto the Wrestling Figs board to the other figures board, and there's a whole thread about Powertown, and I think it's about page 187.
Oh God.
Yeah, shout outs to New Jack. And this motherfucker did like, how do I put
Detective
this?
work.
He did like the most impressive fucking detective work I've ever seen in my life. Um, yeah, their username is No More Scammers. It's on page 188, and it is like expired fucking expired trademarks. Like Remco was due to expire. They trademarked original San Francisco toy makers. They
Did we know that?
No, it was never announced. They trademarked fucking Galoob, which I guess we should have known that when they trademarked that. Wrestling Figure News did some digging and found the exact number of figures for Series 1 in total was like 11,450. They have an F rating with the Better Business Bureau. They're not an accredited business. Um, they did have a response on the Better Business Bureau website. To whom it may concern, we respectfully understand and acknowledge the customer's concerns. Any delays that have taken place are due to unanticipated factory issues. I thought it was due to tariffs, Greg. Our customer support team will be contacting the customer next week, offering a full refund. The fuck they did. Like, this is as thorough a takedown as you could ever possibly fucking ask for. They they like quote people's posts, and they, again, like, just reading the trademarks again. um I guess they abandoned the trademark for Remco. So, like, they technically don't have the rights to use that anymore.
Well,
It looks
I don't.
like
I don't think there will be.
the Powertown trademark was coming up. The like, all of their trademarks are coming up, and it doesn't look like they're being renewed. There was that company that had their, remember the cartoon, the, like, they created the company Kadazzle, and they were going to do toys for that cartoon.
Yeah.
That shit's not happening now. And, like, this is as thorough. Like, he gets into, like, what the tariffs would have cost. Like, he breaks down, like, how much the figures, like, the Remcos would have cost for, like, air freight based on how much the average He-Man figure weighs.
Jesus.
And yeah, this is crazy, man.
I'm gonna have to read this later. It apparently doesn't like my computer right now.
Yeah, it's page 188, and oh god, he's still going. Oh, the Powertown trademark? Yeah, that's about to fucking go. San Francisco Toy Makers is dead slash abandoned. Um, which, I mean, I guess it technically has been since like 2000.
Remember when they were gonna make a video game too?
Powertown? Oh yeah, they were talking with fucking video game companies. Remember when they had deals with Amazon and Walmart, fucking Target?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what the fuck happened there?
Maybe they meant the actual Amazon. Like they were just gonna leave the figures in the Amazon for people to find.
Oh, that's where we're gonna find out. That's where the fucking the boat bringing the Remcos
Yeah.
fucking ended up
Yeah.
crashing.
Yeah, they're with the, one of those tribes that's like away from normal civilization in the rainforest. They have the Remcos now.
Oh, there's a, well, they're gonna have to file this business report in January, which authorized persons detail.
Hey, you can't
We
file a
got
report if there's no business.
Thomas Kelly, who was from the Remco AWA group. He's no longer with the company. Joe Cupic, who was like a fucking TV production guy from the AWA and WCW. Um, Greg Gagne, Steve Rosenthal, Terry Allen. We all know who those guys are. William Robbins is a guy that Rosenthal mentioned a bunch in interviews. He was like a toy buyer for Toys R Us. Shannon Stewart, I think, is the one person like named in this that I don't think we've got any frame of reference as to who that person actually is.
Sounds like a familiar name, but I'm probably thinking of something else.
Dude, what a fucking mess.
Like they started with so much goodwill based on that first series, and look what's happened.
And even like the first series didn't go particularly well.
True.
Hold on, I'm just going through to make sure
It was a fun idea.
This person's, I guess, trying to figure out how many people have actually been affected by the Powertown thing, and he's like calling out like Fig Heel and stuff. Yeah,
Oh,
the entire fucking wrestling figure influencer space, and I hate that that is a thing. These motherfuckers need to start holding these toy companies accountable.
yes.
Like, the majors also have to take a massive fucking L on this, and they haven't. Fucking Cardona and Myers especially needs to start offering up fucking apologies. Because this is ridiculous.
Has he talked about like TNA and Ringside yet?
So
Because,
I asked
like,
Wrestling Figure News, because like the week that the Joe Hendry went up, I was like, did they say anything about it? And he was like, they had to have recorded this early because they didn't say a single thing. But here's the thing. Fucking, we talked about it, I think, when we talked about the Joe Hendry being revealed. If we did, I don't remember. But like, we talked about this in DMs at the very least. This basically means Powertown's fucking done.
yeah, and if they're going to talk about like the Joe Hendry and Ringside, like you have to bring up Powertown in that conversation. Like you have to talk about it.
Yeah. And you know, Hal Haney is no longer exclusive to them. And I mean, you could just say I'm no longer working with them because they don't fucking exist, Hal. It's the same goddamn thing at this point.
Mm.
And I wonder, like, the guy that sculpted the Remcos also did the Patriot Elite style prototype for figure collections. And Chris Hargrove, who's a customizer, was the one painting the prototypes. Are they out
Right.
of a job now too? Apparently, essentially.
Would they've been hired like they probably didn't have like a. Would they not just be hired independently? Did they have like an actual contract?
I don't know. Someone on Wrestling Figs, this is a post from New Year's, said that the episode that came out on the 2nd should have something about Powertown and TNA. They didn't expect an apology. More like Brian Myers taking credit for TNA finally getting a figure out. Yeah, he's really stuck his head in the sand. And it's fucking inexcusable, man. Like, Greg Gagne and Magnum TA should never show their fucking faces in public again. And here's another thing. This was always the logical end game. So Magnum and Greg did that podcast a couple of months ago and shit on the collectors. They're like, oh, well, you poke the bear and you won't get anything. We were never going to get anything anyway, Terry. And you knew that.
Isn't Magnum on like a tour of kicking people's asses now? Isn't that what he said?
Oh yeah, he
Do?
said he was gonna fucking, if you called me a carny, I'd slap you in the face with my good hand. I would knock you off your little segment. Fuck off, man. Like, it's one thing if it's like, yeah, he had the really bad wreck and he got roped into this thing, and you know, it's not really his fault. He's been shitting on people for months. It is abundantly fucking clear he doesn't give a shit. He was in this for the money.
Yeah.
And I need to not look at the zombie sailor threads on this board.
No,
Jeez.
don't do it. Any updates on the God, I can't even remember what the 6-inch
The Pinnacle collection?
Yeah.
Just that like late January, early February. But also it was noted on his post for the Pink Trunks CM Punk figure that that's going to be shipping after Bloodsport. So maybe we see those, you know, late January, early February. I'm starting to think maybe late February at the earliest.
Okay.
I mean, now if we're still doing this dance in like April and we don't know when those are coming, I'm going to be pissed. Because we've seen the package samples. They've been on the way from the factory. And it's no longer the season where everything's so like log jammed and it's like the cargo ships are taking a little bit longer. I firmly believe he'll probably have them in hand by the end of January. Whether Whether he's able to start shipping those out or not is a completely different story entirely. I
Yeah,
hope, but I'm
I'm
thinking late February.
a little bit anxious because I just want that Abdullah because it's fucking cool.
Yeah, that Abdullah figure's amazing. I've also seen people get that Coliseum Collection Bundy in hand after posting on Instagram how much better it was than the zombie figure, and they're like, he's too jacked. He's not fat enough. Yeah. Yeah, you know which figure is really fat? Like an actual approximation of how King Kong Bundy looked? The one y'all said looked like shit. Have fun with your Mattel slop.
People
Good
don't
grief.
usually say he's not fat enough, but yeah.
I've never seen a skinnier King Kong Bundy.
Oh, don't let them make a retro.
Oh, I can't wait. He's
No,
gonna have the
please.
fucking
I
he's
can't
gonna
deal
have the
with it.
same he's gonna have the same body as fucking Vader in the arms
No,
from Tugboat.
no, I can't do
And,
it again.
and I'm gonna see people talking about that slop, or I'm gonna hear about people talking about that slop like it's better than the zombie figure that looks incredible.
Uh,
Yeah, man. um but yeah, that'll probably do us for this time. I don't think there's anything else, is there?
uh, I was gonna start singing The Lion King there. No, I think we've pretty much gone through everything recent.
Yeah, we've covered the three major shows and all the news that I can think of. There hasn't been anything new on UPW yet.
Uh, there should be I haven't read anything to say this, but like usually at the start of the month there's the update video. But with it being holiday season, I wouldn't be surprised if that's delayed by a little bit. But there should be a January update video, hopefully some point soon.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that and all the things it entails when that happens. We'll be back in 2 weeks to talk. Is it Buriki?
I don't know how to pronounce it. I'll just say yes.
I think that's just based on how it's written. I think that's what it is, but we'll find out. But we'll be back to talk about that and all the other dumb bullshit that happens over the next 2 weeks. And until then, stay safe. Don't be an asshole. The president's a war criminal. And yeah, this shit sucks. See you later.